Yeah! Well, to know the gavel's calling. Let's get this session started. Hey, folks, grab a seat. It's time to get the scoop. Baker's in session, serving justice with a whoop. From sunny Cali courts to the heartland's dusty halls, we'll spin the yarns of trials big and small. Oh, Baker in session, tales old and brand new. Some make you laugh, some will leave you in a stew. Gavels dropping beats, witnesses take the stand. Join the fun, y'all, across this great land. Classic papers like OJ or that moonshine bust. Fresh headlines steaming hot, in Baker we trust. Murder in the Midwest, scams down south so sly. We'll break it down with grins, no need to cry. East Coast embezzlers, West Coast wild rides. Supreme Court showdowns where the big shots collide. From petty thefts to plots that twist and turn, Baker's got the stories that'll make you learn and burn. Oh, Baker in session, tales old and brand new. Some make you laugh, some will leave you in a stew. Gavels dropping beats, witnesses take the stand. Join the fun, y'all, across this great land. Famous folks in hot seats, underdogs who win. We'll cheer the verdicts, dive right in. Coast to coast adventures in the name of the law. Baker's here to share it without a single flaw. Hit subscribe, don't miss the legal ride. Baker in session where the laughs collide. Hey, how radio roll.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back. And Empire, why doesn't skeletons fight each other? Because they have no guts. Or they don't have the guts. Sorry. We will be jumping right into day 3 in the former corn actress turned realtor, turned girlfriend, and mom of 2 new babies, turned into wife of son of babies' dad, who at the same time where she at the same time is maybe the last kid is the brothers, not the dads. It's a weird case, y'all, if you weren't here yesterday. And let's just jump into it and see how crazy it gets on this little thing, because yesterday was dumb. I'll have something from Harry. Harry is my German colleague who also covers trials and translates them into German. He has taken Japanese lessons. The mother of the victim is Japanese, and she allegedly, according to him, as he can understand Japanese, they mistranslate in a way that could actually be raising reasonable doubt. We will not understand it unless someone speaks Japanese in chat who can help us. But it has something to do with the time. And let's get right into it. And I need a pee. A quick pee. And maybe subtitles works today.
Record C 3772300.
We rushed through a bit of things, and I want to review a couple of things with you, okay? You had previously indicated that you arrived at the scene with Dennis Ozawa, is that correct? When you arrived on scene, did you interview anyone at Paladura?
We did.
Who did you interview at Paladura?
That's going to give you a
Okay. In addition, did you speak with the children there, or was that over at the Porcupine Rim scene?
Porcupine.
Okay, so let's move forward to the Porcupine Rim scene. When you arrive at that scene, what do you observe?
When Detective Ozal and I arrived on scene, we observed Devyn Michaels going between the house and her vehicle, which is the Nissan Armada. And then I believe there was one child kind of playing around in the backyard.
Okay. Did you notice anything at the Porcupine Rim scene as you arrived other than Devyn Michaels?
I did. As we walked up the driveway of the residence, kind of off to the side, which would be near the opening of the garage door, there was a black cell phone.
Okay. And when you say off to the side, do you mean actually on the driveway?
It was on the driveway.
And which side of the Nissan Armada was it?
It would be to the left.
Okay. So the driver's side.
Correct.
When you observed the cell phone on the driveway, on the driver's side of the Armada, do you immediately go grab it, or what are you thinking at that time?
No, at that point we made note of it. That's something that we're going to want to include in our search warrant. So at that time we're leaving that so that we can collect it in a way that we can have it forensically analyzed later.
Okay. And I would presume at that point when you see it from a distance, you don't realize there's blood on it.
Correct.
But you're noting it, you're not telling the defendant about it, you're just, okay, that's noted, and you move on.
Yes.
And you indicated previously that you had an opportunity to speak with the girls, the young girls, is that right?
Yes.
And they indicated to you that the Devier had been home with them last night.
That's correct.
We went through the first interview in the beginning of your testimony, you recall that?
Yes.
And I called it the first interview. This is actually the second interview conducted by detectives, but the first that you were involved.
Yes.
I didn't get a chance to ask you, but how were you approaching this second interview when you first go in? What's your mindset?
Sure. So whenever we're contacting someone for the first time, we try to use a free format. We will ask them questions and allow them to give us a narrative in their own words. They're explaining the situation, the story, all of the things that they want to organically just tell us. And then we may ask a couple follow-up clarifying questions and sometimes repeat back to them what they told us so that we can feel comfortable that we understand what they're trying to tell us.
And you are aware that there was an interview conducted with the defendant prior to your involvement?
Yes.
And this second interview, your first,
Yes.
was that investigative type, open-ended, like, hey, give us any information you deem relevant kind of thing?
Correct.
Okay. And just to briefly summarize, there was some discussion about, in that second interview, your first, the day before, shopping for school supplies, the defendant acknowledged she had been with the victim, and then she said he was alive and well in the garage when she left. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, during the course of this first interview you're involved in, we heard a little girl's voice approach. Is that correct?
It is.
Describe that, what happened, and what that meant to you.
So while we were interviewing Miss Michaels, we are engaged in our conversation. To be honest with you, I'm not sure which of the daughters, their names I still get mixed up. She had approached the window and she has the cell phone that we believe is the one we previously saw on the driveway. And she says, "Mommy, here's Daddy's cell phone. That's why he didn't answer." There was a physical reaction from from Devyn, and she takes the phone, she hands it to us, and she made a comment, "This should help you." And then that's pretty much changed the tone a little bit to casual conversations to then it became a little bit more flustered.
Okay. And is it at that point where you noticed the blood on the phone?
Correct.
And I would imagine that's important for an investigator.
Very much so.
You, I believe, previously indicated that after that first interview, a search warrant is authored and conducted on the home and the vehicles outside the home at Porcupine Rim. Is that correct?
Yes.
During the course of that, we know the wallet with the current ID is found. It's tied in several bags in the defendant's underwear drawer, and it's kind of tucked away. Is that right?
Yes.
And then within that same bag is the truck keys.
Yes.
The Social Security card was found, but that was in her purse, not hidden away with the other stuff.
Right.
Okay. We were about halfway through that second interview when we had to break on Friday. And so just describe for us how you're approaching this second interview differently, knowing what you know about the blood on the phone and the items found in the home.
Sure. So as I mentioned, the first interview is going to be more of a format that allows the subject to give us their narrative, their truth, what they want to tell us. The second interview, we've now discovered some evidence inside the home. There's some things that we need to confront her with. So the tempo of the interview, the tone changes. It becomes a little bit more direct. Okay, you said that this happened, but now we have this. For instance, the wallet. We didn't know about the wallet. That wasn't brought up in the first interview. So now we are going to be targeting her, asking direct questions, and it can be accusatory in nature.
Okay. And so we left off at 36:55, but just because we were really cutting it close, I want to start back at about 30 minutes of that interview and then resume. I may pause it a couple of times and ask you some questions, okay? May I, Judge?
Yes.
What do they look like?
1 second. Remind us what exhibit this is.
620, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead. I don't know, like I have all of his whole driver's license, I had all of his old stuff.
Okay. And then a whole wallet with the driver's license? How many do you think you have?
I think I have 2 of his licenses.
And then are they both in wallets or
Yeah, we have an old one of Devyn's as well.
in separate wallets?
No, just in separate places.
Okay. Where was those other ones? Like the ones for Jonathan? Where did you keep those at?
The one
Zach tried to become a baker, but he couldn't make enough dough, so he rolled with it. Thank you, M. Spire.
drawer in Devyn's in a different drawer.
Which drawer?
One's in like my drawer with like some doorknobs and stuff, and the other one's in a nightstand or on the other side.
Oh, okay. And you think you have a couple of his driver's license?
I know I do, and I have them on my phone too.
Oh, did he? And why does he give you those, or why does he? Why do you have them?
I know how it sounds, but he literally said, "Hold on to this because it's important." He literally said that.
About what?
Like the social and everything. And I have the EBT card, and you can see it at the gas station. He handed me the EBT card and said, "This is the code," and then he gave me the other one.
What was that?
I said, "This doesn't look good."
Why did he say that?
Because he's telling me to do things, and you're asking me about it, and
Well, I mean, you're explaining it, that's why.
I mean, you can see at the gas station, he hands me the card and says, "Hold on to this in case you need something." Like,
And
it's,
that's the EBT card?
yes, sir. And it's at the gas station. You can see him hand it to me.
The ARCO.
And, no, and not the ARCO. There's another gas station on the Pecos one where we stopped, and I think, yeah, because he gave me the card and then he went outside to smoke a cigarette. But it's on the security camera. You can see him hand it to me.
Do you remember which gas station?
I don't know the name of it. It's by the Burger King.
Burger King. You know, like,
It's off the Pecos and Windmill. It's like right there. You can.
Pecos Windmill, Burger King.
Mm-hmm. There's a gas station right there. He was talking about the man that works there. He parks right.
Like on the corner?
Mm-hmm. He was telling me about the man that works there, and he sleeps in his car and everything like that.
What time did you get that with that?
That was after we unloaded everything. We went right there, and I got a Monster drink, and I don't remember what he got.
So right after you left,
When we got back to his side of town.
so coming back is when you went to that gas station?
Yeah.
So after 9 o'clock. And that's when he gave you his EBT card?
Yes, you can see him hand it to me, and he walks out the door.
So that's near his place. You said Pecos and Windmill? The Burger King?
Yes, sir. Like,
So, Detective, we're now talking about kind of the Social Security card, the wallet, there's an EBT card that's referenced, is that correct?
Yes.
Before we move on, I want to ask you about an exchange that was a bit earlier in the interview, but would be duplicative for me to play again. Earlier on in the interview, you had confronted the defendant about the bloody phone, correct?
Yes.
And what was her general response with regard to that?
As far as the acknowledgement of the phone,
Yes.
she was surprised about the phone being at the residence,
Okay.
and it really threw her off when her daughter handed her the phone, and it changed the tone of
Yeah.
our interview.
And she claimed she was surprised. You're not saying she actually was?
No,
Okay.
she appeared to be very surprised.
Okay. And you had asked, and I'm simplifying, you had asked something to the effect of, well, how does blood end up on the phone? Does he hurt himself or something like that? You remember
Correct.
that? Describe that exchange.
So once we have the phone in our possession, we do note, and also her child noted that there was apparent blood on the phone. That's of great concern, and of course we're going to address that at the time. Began asking Devyn some questions related to that. She mentioned that he had injured his hand, and I believe she specifically said he took a chunk, and he being Jonathan, out of his hand. Then went into great detail, which stood out to me because the entire interview there hadn't been any detail on anything. It was very generalities. There wasn't a lot of, it was like, I don't remember. But in this case, she went into extreme great detail about the table, how it folded, where it was in the garage, how he had hurt himself.
And to be fair to the defendant, I believe she said, John told me that he hurt himself. I didn't see it, but she knew it, or claimed she knew what he hurt himself on and that it was a very large injury.
Correct. And in addition to that, she did not see any blood or injuries on John's hands.
And Detective, you've reviewed the autopsy photos in this case.
Yes, I have.
Were there any bleeding injuries to the victim's body other than his decapitation?
No.
We're going to resume the interview now.
He kept,
It's cool because there's in 2 gas stations. There's a Chevron right down the corner.
I think it's like a Charlotte Hurst.
Okay, so it's over there, and then across Candy Corner from that gas station is another gas station. I think it's a Shell or something.
I'm not sure the other one, but
But it was next to the Burger King. Okay.
yeah, please check the security. You can see him, and you can see him telling me the code and everything. I don't know why he was giving me things, but he was telling me to hold on to him and keep him safe. And that's what I was doing.
That was the social security card. What about his driver's license?
I've always had his driver's license. He's
The
always,
problem I have with that is that the driver's license found in the house is a current. It's not.
but he just gave it to me.
I know, but he would need that for work. That's
He
why
has
I asked
another
you.
one.
You said that he gave you an old one you had in the drawer.
Well, no, he's giving me old ones.
I'm just working on something in the background, but listening while we're doing it.
Before I have multiple ones. So you can look around the house, there's more than one.
Okay. And if this one's expired in 2025, that's going to be his newest one. And it's weird that you have his latest driver's license and that it was tucked in a drawer.
Yeah, I put it away to keep it safe. It should be wrapped in like a whole bunch of bags, right?
Okay. Did you understand that?
I understand, but I also have social security. I understand, and that's why I'm like, it's just getting weirder and weirder. It's like I'm doing things that help, and it's not helping me. I got it.
Well, yeah, is that just being able to explain some of the stuff? That's all we need.
I'm trying to explain it, but the more I'm talking, the more it just sounds really stupid. And
Especially a driver's license, that doesn't need to really be kept safe.
They believe it happened on the bed.
And also security card or birth certificate, I completely understand. Especially if somebody is in transition in their life and they're wanting to find a new place to live and want your work.
but I don't know what else was in it. It was just a lot of things.
Okay. But it wasn't his wallet, he didn't hand his wallet over to you.
No, it was a lot of things. Like it was like a square thing he handed to me, and then a black what are those called?
But not his wallet. You know what his wallet looks like, you saw him pull it out for
Yeah.
instance. So he had his
So Detective, you're now confronting the defendant with regard to the wallet and all that was found in the plastic bags.
Correct.
Those were sealed when they were found, correct?
They were.
Fun size. This is the weird thing because she actually sounds incredibly sane all the time. She's never really that emotional. It's really weird to me. But the mom is also weirdly quiet when she finds the dead body.
So let's step back a moment to the phone because they kind of tie together. She is not telling you that the phone is part of this chunk of items that John allegedly gave her in this bag.
Correct.
Okay. With regard to the victim's phone, did you ultimately learn that was in fact his blood and DNA, the victim's, on that phone?
Yes, I did.
Did you ultimately learn from other sources, not the defendant, but other sources, when John's phone was last at his home and when it left?
Yes. So one of my partners had authored a search warrant for Google. We had also done some call data records as well, but the Google itself came in quite a bit later. So this is something that we found out after the crime, obviously, and after all the interviews had been settled. But we noted that the return showed that John's phone was at the home on Paladura, which is where he resides, from 10 o'clock till it began to travel or move at about 2:04 a.m.
And what else traveled or moved at 2:04?
This is the weirdest trial we have covered yet. Every police officer, male or female, looks way too good. It's like watching a movie or something. Normally, we're used to Canton where everyone is fat and bald, even the ladies. But here they're dressed to the nine.
So I'm not sure exactly what's been testified to yet, but at 2:04 is when it's alleged that Devyn left the home. She traveled. We have her cell phone or CDR records, as well as the Burla, which, again, I'm not sure if that's been testified to. That is the infotainment system that we authored a search warrant on. It shows those three devices together in a companion movement all the way back to Porcupine Rim.
So 3 devices, meaning the Nissan itself, the defendant's cell phone, and the victim's cell phone as well.
That's correct.
Based upon the fact that there is blood on the cell phone and all of that you just testified, what did you deduce about our timeline of homicide?
Well, after having the information from the autopsy, which is there was no bloodletting injuries short of his obvious cause of death, which was the decapitation, there was no...
It was her screaming at that hearing, but I thought she sounded mentally ill, but as always, my group of ladies yelled at me and said, "You're an idiot," and said, well, she might believe that she's being railroaded. That could be why she was this distraught. So it could have happened that way. They're not arrogant. No, they seem very well prepared and very just by the book. It's not all of that. We're trying to hide stuff.
No reason there should have been blood on that cell phone because any bloodletting would have been after the homicide. So for the phone to arrive and be discovered at Porcupine Rim with blood on it indicated to me that that is something that was on the phone before it left that house.
At 2:04 a.m.
Correct.
And therefore, did you narrow down the bloodletting to between 10 p.m. on the 6th and 2:04 a.m. on the 7th?
Yes, sir.
We're going to resume the interview.
So we find that his wallet is going to have his driver's license and his cards. But not getting it.
I told you, when John and I were together, I had everything. He had me hold on to it so he wouldn't spend money needlessly and things like that. Like, he's like, hold on to this. And
You know, you guys don't have a relationship right now.
we actually were.
So you're closer than we thought.
Yes. I went. He asked me to marry him yesterday.
Okay.
Does that make
It
sense?
makes to know your relationship. You mentioned was getting reconnected, but that's more romantic.
Right, and you can ask the girls that he told the girls we were going to get back married and they were going to be the flower girls and stuff like that. He was trying to get back together, and I was helping him break all of these little bad habits that he was doing.
So then he gives you the EBT card for one of the girls. Where's the other one?
I have 2 EBT cards.
Do you have both girls' EBT cards now?
No, they're not the girls' EBTs. He said one was Andrea's, and the code.
I was using Android.
He gave me hers. I haven't used it. He gave me hers at the gas station, and then he has the other one that he got.
Okay. Where's that EBT card now?
They're both in my purse.
Okay. You know you can't have that, right?
Yes, but I know he gave them to me.
doesn't make it right.
No, but I can't use them, but I understand, but you can see he handed it to me.
Okay. You're not understanding that you can't do that. So
No, I know I can't use them. I don't believe he can use it because it's Andrea's and not his.
Right. Is Andrea mad that you have the EBT card? Did you get it? Because she's got it now. That's her money.
No, he said that she gave it to him because she can't use it in the state that she's in.
So they're just using it to fill his void for money.
That's what he said. He said, but at any moment she can cancel it.
Yeah, but she wasn't. So if he wants to marry you, he's telling you girls be flower girls, yet you're still wearing a ring, and so is Dev.
This ring I bought on my own from Macy's. It has nothing. No, this wasn't a symbol.
You just told me that it was a symbol.
I said,
you have a best friend connection with Dev.
We do have a
You wear the
connection.
wedding ring too, and that's something that Dev is a respectful thing, part of your marriage.
Yeah.
But now you're telling me that you and your ex were talking about getting married.
No.
You just took a ring off last night from another female and threw it away. But yet,
You're taking what I'm saying with your
it's fact, is what you said.
No, I understand that's what I said, but that's not exactly the situation. You're taking it and
Okay,
so let me.
here's what you told us so far. Your ex needs a place to stay.
Yes,
because
ma'am.
he's trying to get out of his mother's house.
Yes, ma'am.
You were kind enough to allow him to move into the house with you, your current husband, which is your best friend, and your two girls, which the girls just moved back into May.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you guys are trying to make a family. You were saying that he was supposed to like slowly move in, that things were progressing slowly. Now you're telling me that he's wanting to marry you. He mentioned that yesterday. He even talked to the kids about it, and that your relationship has now progressed past just slowly kind of
No, ma'am, you're misunderstanding. He has mentioned getting married in front of the girls. Our relationship is not rekindling on a physical level or romantic level, but we are trying to reconnect and have a family for the girls. Yes, he has said we should get married, and he's saying it more, for my opinion, on a joking thing, but he has said that in front of the girls. That was not said yesterday. Okay?
When was that said in front of the girls?
I would say over a month ago.
Okay, and what did you say in return in front of the girls?
I didn't say anything. I just looked at him and rolled my eyes.
So the girls, when I talk to them and say that they don't think you guys are getting married?
Oh, yeah, they'll tell you that.
That you guys are not getting back together?
No, because at one point I was telling them I didn't think it would be a good idea for him to be here, and it would be too hectic. So they will definitely tell you I was not trying to marry him.
Did you say anything to them about it?
Oh yeah, I told him that Dawn keeps trying to say he wants to, get back together. I had
You're
her
talking to him now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then him moving in now was just a platonic friendly relationship?
It's not a, yes, basically. I was gonna clear out the sewing room that's up there. He said he wanted the loft because it was the cooler place, but I was gonna give him the sewing room because there is more than enough room.
And then Deb sleeps on the sofa?
Sometimes, or he does sleep on the bed, like I said, when we watch movies and he knocks out within minutes.
And then have you guys ever had a sexual relationship?
Yeah, we had.
Okay, but it's not there now?
No, I can't even have sex now.
Well, I mean,
And thank you, Anime, for gifting a membership to Slidey Pie.
there's a lot of different ways to have sex.
I understand, but no.
Okay, so you guys have no connection that way at all?
No.
Okay. That would complicate it a lot. Having your ex and son and you're still in a relationship.
100%. Okay. You can have all my medical records and everything like that. I have to take hormones just to.
I understand. But like I said, there's a lot of different ways to have sex. It doesn't have to be penetration. There's a lot of things that a couple can do. And obviously you did that at the beginning, but just not now. So much changed.
Okay.
Well, not to be crass with you, but I think I need to be direct with you. And you can give a male a hand job. And that gives you a connection with that person in a sexual way. That gives it a relationship. Do you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? There's a lot of different things that you can do for a male that you're connected with in your marriage.
If you ever see the thing ever, we're not.
Like that. Just trying to answer, get all the questions answered in the relationship.
That's what you answer questions.
I mean, I'm cool with we got married for this. The race, that to me is a lot. That's probably the most odd thing about it for me. Is that
It's just I lost my ring.
But he's wearing a ring, so he's wearing a wedding ring.
He wears a lot of rings though.
He's wearing a wedding ring.
But he does wear more than one ring though. So, and he's bought them for himself.
Sure. I got my ring.
No, I mean, but I didn't buy them for them to be symbolic. He's bought his own things to wear.
And where did you guys get married? You guys got married?
What was that? The flamingo thing?
So you guys had a ceremony with my forms?
Yeah, it was free. I got a coupon thing, and that was cheaper.
And you just did it out at a chapel and a flamingo?
Yeah, and there was the one witness, and that was it.
Gosh, that does.
So you said that you guys have not, like, you and Devyn already have it for a while. How long are we talking? Like,
Years since.
Oh my. Oh, sorry, I gave you nightmares. But did I understand it right? She had medical issues, so she couldn't bang him, but she was banging the son and complaining that he didn't want to bang her and he didn't know what foreplay was. Am I lost a little bit?
He's been back.
what do you mean since he's been back?
He moved out of the state.
Everybody says he's been living here for the last 4 years.
Yeah, but he got moved out of the state. He lived in California, and then he moved back, lived with John, and then he came back this way.
Okay, so since he's been back, you guys have not?
No, sir. I stopped being physical probably in 2020 when I was having all my issues because I had surgery and just surgery.
Okay, but he was already living here.
He wasn't living with me.
Because he was telling me that he's lived here for like the last 4 years.
Yeah, but he wasn't living with me the whole time. He was living with John at Valley Rock.
When I say living here, I mean like he actually said like he's lived here at this house. How long have you lived at this house?
I've been here for 3 years.
And then when did he come back to Nevada? I guess that's what we're saying.
I would say I've been here for 3 years, so at least 2 years ago.
And then prior to living here for 3 years, where were you staying before that?
Decatur and Horse.
And then how long were you at that place?
Less than 1 year.
And then prior to that place?
It was at Wild Magic.
Where's that at?
89129.
Like what area though? Like major cross streets?
Craig's and Tanea. Right by where close to where JC lives.
And then did your kids live with you at that time?
Yeah, they've always lived with me. They've only not lived with me for the short period of time of 9 months.
And going back to about the ID and stuff, you said it was, yeah, you had one of those bids in a bunch of bags in your drawer. When did he give you that?
Yesterday. With the IDs and the social security card.
And was that at the house that he gave that to you?
Yes, sir.
So he handed you a bag yesterday. Do you remember what was in it?
No, he just handed it to me and I put it in the bags. Because I just wanted them out the way.
Okay,
So I'm not sure exactly what's in it. I didn't go through it.
So explain that part to me as far as like when he did that and what did you do? So like where are you guys at when he handed you like that sack of stuff?
In his room area, and he handed me the little square thing. He says, hold on to this, and he handed me the other thing because this is my social. He says, just keep it safe. And that's all I was going to do. So I wrapped it up, and I was going to put the social in the security box, and I just didn't have a chance to do it.
What else? Did he give you anything else?
He gave me his guns.
Anything else? Like there's a set of keys in that bag too.
The keys are from Andrea's stuff.
The set of keys that are in that bag. Like the bag.
No, the keys are my keys.
What do those go to?
My car.
So you have
Detective, we're going to pause real briefly. Throughout the course of the investigation, did you learn that no spare set of Chevy keys for John's truck were ever discovered?
Yes.
In fact, after the defendant was arrested for the homicide, was there some communication with Yoko about returning the keys?
Yes.
And why was that?
There were no set of keys for John's truck found in the home or anywhere else after searching all the residences other than the keys that were in the bag.
And so you had to return those keys to her so she could do whatever she was going to do financially with the truck.
Correct.
bag that you put plastic bag that you wrapped his ID in that he gave you. Had a set of your keys in there.
I'm so lost.
I just wanted, like, when he handed you a bunch of stuff, he only gave you the wallet with the ID in it. Did he hand you anything else?
There's a security card.
Okay, because in that bag that it was wrapped in, that you said you wrapped it in, there was also a set of vehicle keys in there.
I don't remember giving the keys.
Because I guess that's my question. Like, why would he give you? Why would he give you his wallets, social security card, which is like say the scanner's asking. Also, and then also it said keys.
I don't remember the keys. I just know the wallet and the social security card.
And then you put that in a plastic bag while you were at that house?
I just grabbed everything and tied it and tied it and tied it and tied it.
So the only thing he handed you, like, so I'm giving you this stuff. What exactly does he hand you?
I remember seeing a wallet, and it went like this. He dropped it in, and I just started tightening it away.
So it's just a wallet though?
That's all I remember seeing. I do not remember seeing keys, but he dropped it in the bag. Like, I just took it and tied it away.
And was this in the garage?
No, sir, it was in his room.
Inside the room, in the house?
Yes, sir.
And was that before you guys went into the garage?
That was before we left. And then he also said, make sure the guns are safe. And we didn't take the ammo. So I carried on.
Detective, was this timeline that the defendant gave you notable?
It was.
And why is that?
Specifically, the keys being in the bag and the wallet. When they leave the Paladura residence, she'll indicate that they were in his truck and then drove back to his house, or back to her house on Porcupine Rim. However, the keys have been tied up in that bag because she indicates in her statement, I tied them, and that's exactly how we found them in the drawer.
And so we know based on not only the defendant's statements, but witnesses and technological evidence that it wasn't the Nissan Verla that they made the last trip to Porcupine Rim in and then returned to Paladura. It was the victim's truck.
That's correct.
And so she's saying the keys or whatever he put into the plastic bag that she tied up over and over and over were given before that last trip to Porcupine Rim.
Yes.
One of the guns that he carried out with a bow and like a crossbow-looking thing, and another gun.
Okay, so that was before you left there, between 9 and 10?
No, that was like at 8 and 9.
8 and 9.
And we came this way.
And then what did you do with that, all the stuff?
When I got here, I put it in the drawer, like just to keep it out of the way.
And then you guys drove back?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did he have keys to his truck?
Yes, sir, we drove his truck.
Do you remember where he put his keys to the truck? So we can't find his keys to the truck at his house.
They were on the table.
Which table?
The table that had like all this looking stuff and like the grinder and everything like that. All of that was sitting right there.
What?
And his keys to the truck?
Yeah. The only keys I picked up were the ones that had the little thing on it that said Andrea, because Yoko said bring them to her and put them in the little thing. That's the only thing I picked up.
Okay. So you don't know what keys are actually in that bag? Did you wrap everything in?
No, sir. Like I said, he said keep the safe. I took the plastic bag and he dropped it in and I started tying it up. And then he handed me the other thing. And I was just going to put that into a safe.
Okay. So
Thank you. Now Sue isn't here to enlighten us on how to use drugs. Marissa will take over. That's well, again, his son is banging his stepmom. So if he wanted a little man-on-man action, don't you judge.
like what we're saying is a lot of the stuff now is like how you're saying you're talking out loud and it just doesn't sound well.
I understand that, but you didn't know John. You didn't understand his mannerisms.
I know, but when we talked to you earlier, like these are the things when we were saying like, hey, be as weird as possible. Like, what were you guys doing? Like, you know, say you're packing, doing this, but like specifics, like stuff that's important. All that would have been really important for us to know.
I do apologize, but that's not things that were like kind of going through my head at the time. To remember is like, when you say this, it's like, okay, I remember this now. And you say something else, then I can recall more information. I'm trying to remember as much as I possibly can for you.
Okay, because like how you said how it doesn't look well, I agree with you now because you have a social security card, you have his wallet and his ID. There's possibly a set of keys that looks like might be his truck keys in that bag.
Okay.
So
But I'm sure he's got I got more than one key for my car.
Not keychains on it. Spare keys don't have keychains on it.
like it's not just like a key with a key fob. It's like it looks like his personal set of keys.
Like I said, he put it in the bag. I just tied it up. That's all I did. And I think there's like 3 bags around it, 3 or 4 bags. I'm not even sure.
And if you have a safe, why would you not just put them in a safe?
I haven't had a chance to.
A plastic bag.
But the keys,
So for all the stuff that you
oh, it was just what we had right at the time. I hadn't been here to put it in the safe. The safe is here, but I just
And
hadn't
that was placed in the
before.
It takes 2 seconds to put something in a safe.
I hadn't done it, and I wasn't trying to have Debbie ever see it. That's all it was.
why do you say that?
Because it would look odd that I'm holding on to John's things for John.
She's a police officer.
But it's not the same. It's like if you're doing more for one person, I don't want him to feel like there's more there than what it was. John was only coming in as a temporary thing until he can get something else because, like I said, he was trying to file for bankruptcy. Yoko was about to kick him out. Yoko even said she was trying to kick him out.
Okay. So you, how can you tell us how to bankruptcy before? That is
I did. I did mention bankruptcy before.
I don't remember that.
Did I tell you or the? Yeah, I mentioned it. I most definitely did.
We're standing inside the house when you guys were here.
He told his mom he was going to file for bankruptcy.
Yeah, gambling. How long does he have an issue with gambling?
What is it called?
Where does he usually play?
Well, when we lived together, he would go to the Santa Fe.
That's like say or something.
That's when we lived together. I don't know what his spot would be now.
You don't know where he would go living, but he would go.
Probably the Green Valley is the closest one.
No.
What's the reason that?
He said he was. He claimed he was going to try to do 1,100. He claimed he was going to be able to do that.
Is that a text message or conversations you guys had on the phone?
I don't know. You might be able to find a text message on it. If it was definitely where he understood it was not going to be him freeloading or anything like that, he had to pay to stay here.
And we go through the phone. We're gonna have our computer guys. They can go through apps, they can go through anything deleted, all that stuff. Are they gonna find anything that we're gonna have to go back and talk to you about? That your current husband doesn't know about, relationship-wise, conversations,
With Johnson.
intimate conversations, pictures?
No.
Okay.
No, yeah.
So it's just platonic conversations.
For the girls.
So they never run back.
They wanted him because they love their dad.
We know it's wrong.
And I was told when I went, John has physical custody of the girls. They're supposed to live with him.
So is that why?
So as long as I keep him close to me,
Okay, well, then just tell me that's the motive.
that has definitely, if I keep him close and make him happy and everything like that, I got to see my girls.
I can understand that.
So it's just so my girls love him. They want to spend time with their dad. I need to be around my girls.
Hopefully he pays the rent. Does that pay for the rent too? Or no?
He pays like $1,100 every month too.
Okay. And then are you working?
Yes, no, I do real estate.
Okay. Clearly you've been sick though.
Yes, ma'am, and for almost a full year I wasn't making any money. So I went through my savings, I had to take my stocks out just recently to get things caught up. Yeah, I've been struggling trying to get all of this back on track.
This was gonna help a lot.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's the motivation too, is keep the girls close, and then if you keep them close and happy, you'll be able to have contact with the girls, and he's gonna pay the other half of the bridge.
I figured as long as I didn't rock the boat too much, he wasn't gonna get out of control because I know what triggers him, and I wasn't gonna do that. I know even when he's yelling and everything, as long as I'm not trying to engage with it, he does calm down fairly quickly. And you can see it on the text messages.
Okay, so like going back to what Sam was saying, why are you? I know that you want to see your kids, but ultimately you have custody of the kids.
He has
Well,
them
he has physical custody, but they've been staying with you. They're not staying with
because
him.
he's letting them stay with me.
Exactly. But why would you want to bring him here?
Because if you look at the text messages, when he gets mad, it's bring me the girls back. I want the girls back.
So he's threatening you about that stuff.
Mhm.
He's threatening you about the kids. Okay, so
Again, if I keep them happy and keep everything cool, the girls can stay with me. And they were supposed to be with me for the summer, but you'll see, oh, I miss the girls. I haven't seen the girls, so it's okay. I would drive to Anderson multiple times just so he could see the girls, and then we would drive back.
Do you have any other phones?
No, sir. We got a house phone, a landline.
Yeah. Your purse that was inside the house.
Because she was banging his son. I think that's when she lost him.
That phone is not connected.
What phone is that?
There's like extra phones that are my old phones. None of them are connected. The girls just use them to play video games.
That one was in your purse. Are you saying that one's in your purse?
Yeah, there's one in my purse. Tamia was playing music on one of them earlier today. They're just old phones.
Police officer.
So, Devyn, right now, like you're saying, things just aren't adding up. Okay, I'm not saying that you actually did something to Jonathan, but I know, or I feel like right now you're not telling us everything. I feel like you know something, and that, like either how it happened or who something involved with this. I feel like you did not give us that information. So, we've done this for a while. Okay, we've been detectives for a while. Okay, and just given everything that you told us, and just kind of how everything happened, just kind of sporadic. All right. I really don't want to beat around the bush at this point now, because before I was giving you the benefit of the doubt with everything, okay? But like I said, things just aren't adding up.
So I have decided that if I just be nice to him, I can get my girls. Because the court, when we went for custody, he didn't even show up. And the judge had us wait an extra hour to see if he was going to show up, just to give him the benefit of the doubt. And they still granted him physical custody. They denied his motion for sole custody, but they still granted him the physical custody of the girls. I have tried to do everything through the system. So right now, all I'm trying to do is make sure I just be nice and get my girls, because that, at the end of the day, was my goal. Just how my girls
Can I ask you a question about your custody? Just my prior experience is in special victim unit, so I'm very familiar with family courts, very familiar with CPS cases and how powerful they are. One way or another. It's very, very unusual for a father to get primary physical custody. So,
she told me that day, and you can talk to the victim kid, that my girls were going to be home that day. I told her I'll do the custody class, not custody classes, the counseling, which I'm still doing, and you can talk to her. I did the parenting classes.
so they took the kids away.
Yes, ma'am. But they said that you have to do this, you have to do, and I did everything.
Usually it's temporary.
And they didn't. They still granted him. Yes, now you can look it all up. Even my therapist, everybody that has been involved in this case, say it didn't make any sense. I have.
Where are all your firearms?
There's one in the drawer and there's one upstairs.
Where's the one upstairs?
It's in the safe in the bathroom. In the girls. The safe.
Okay, and then is that a 9mm or 40? Do you know
A
how
9
Okay, and then the one downstairs, where's that?
in the drawer is a 9.
Okay. And then are those your firearms?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And have you fired those recently?
No, ma'am.
Not since.
No, we go to the gun range just for. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's good.
Yes, ma'am. It is. And my
That's your judge.
the lady, I don't know what happened. It's like I don't know now. I don't know how all this works. Like you can't all of a sudden get signed with all this stuff. So I know it looks weird, but I'm just playing nice to keep my girls. So I'm just trying to not create waves. So John says, I need you to do something, I do it. As simple as that. I'm not trying to look stupid in front of you guys, but
Does he hold that over your head?
yes,
Like, does he threaten you?
Yes.
With the kids?
yeah.
Like, what kind of stuff does he say?
Is if I'm not, hey, I need you to do this, if I'm not, it's never been like a sexual thing. I mean, he did it, but it's always if you're not, anything, I need this help, I need this help. I used to give him gas money every time I went down there. I used to have to buy his beers and his cigarettes because EBT doesn't cover it. And the girls will even tell you I was always buying him something. You can look at the gas station records. Every time we went in, he would, hey, I need this, this, and this, and I would be the one paying for it. I just don't want to rob it.
Is that how he got you to agree for him to come here?
Yes. And it's just like, to keep my girls close.
What did he tell you?
That it's not what
Yes.
he told me. It's just
We have covered
I
that
know.
a few times.
Like, when he said,
we should be a family. We should be a family because the girls would want us together.
did he threaten you to say, let him move in?
It wasn't a threat. It was more of a well, if you don't want to do this, then I'll stay with Andrea. We'll have her, because he told me straight he already moved on with his life and everything like that. And him and Andrea were supposed to get married, and I wasn't going to be in the picture anymore. And I can't be without my girls.
Did he say he was going to take the girls to where was it, right?
No, they weren't moving anywhere, but it was just I wasn't going to really have my time with them like I do now. So I know I seem very easy to push over, but it's not. It's just
Well, it's a cycle. Obviously, he's been using your kids against you and getting his way for stuff, and you know.
On one of the things I want to say was like the 4th of July. Nene put something in the microwave and it like kind of started sparking like a metal thing, and he started screaming fire, 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 fire. So I'm trying to get the girls out, and he's yelling at them to stay down, and he's cussing out his mom, cussing at me. And I'm just trying to get the kids out of the house, thinking there's a fire, and he immediately pack their bags, put it on back. We're not doing this. So
Was that here or
in Henderson, and ask Uncle, she'll tell you. That's how he is.
So, I mean, when I tell you that, I told you earlier that I think that you're not telling us everything, that there's something that you know that you're leaving out, and then you go into this big explanation about, this is what's happening, this is what's going on, I love my girls, he uses that against me, and you can't go into that brief explanation. So, you never really got into the other part to it, okay? So you just can't get the explanation, which I understand completely. Yeah? Like, you're painting a different picture about what's been going on. Like, all this stuff you tell us now is not anywhere near what you were explaining to us earlier. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not trying to speak ill of anyone, and I'm not trying to make myself sound.
It's not speaking ill, it's just trying to explain the situation and where you're at with him and your explanation. I mean, now it's a little bit more clear that he obviously uses your kids against you. You love your kids. We all love our kids. And I agree with you as far as like, I would do anything for my child, right? And you said,
So it's not that I'm trying to bring him in because I'm in love with him or anything like that.
no, you're trying to make, but here's where what I'm saying is, I don't think him coming here isn't something that you really agreed to. It was something that he kind of forced it upon you.
He made it clear that it would be better for the girls, just like the puppies. We need to bring the puppies. The girls love the puppies. And
Right? So that to me, when we're looking at everything here, would say, hey, well, he needs to get out of the picture, right? So that's why I'm asking. I don't think you did anything to him yourself, okay? But I do believe that you know what happened to him.
Detective, during the course of interviews, when you're speaking with a potential suspect or person of interest, or however you want to say it, are there times in which you will change the tone and kind of minimize someone's involvement?
Absolutely.
So just so everyone understands, when you or Ozawa are saying, I don't believe you did it, that's part of your interviewing technique, correct?
Correct.
You're not saying that's what you actually do.
No, it's a way of keeping the dialogue going, of showing some sort of like sympathizing, comments. If you're giving that to them, they're feeling that they're heard and they're believed, and they will continue to speak with us.
Okay.
Who did something. So that's
I agree with Stu for one.
So this is the time right now that would be a good time for you to kind of explain what you know about what happened. Because as we go on further, and when we leave here, and you say, I have no idea, there's no clue, I don't know anything about what happened, and then we find out later, that obviously looks worse on you, correct?
I understand.
Okay, so like I was saying before, now is the time that it would be coming upon you to say, hey, okay, this is what I know. Okay, like I said, I don't believe you actually did anything to him, but I do believe that you know what happened to him. Okay?
John was like this with everybody, so I don't know if he got into anything with anyone else, but for me, this is how he was. For Yoko, this is how he was. I'm pretty sure he was like that with Andrea. I don't know if he could be with any other person where he's like doing this. You would have to look at his phone, but you can look on my messages. It was always a back and forth like this almost every single day. I would get a message and it would be a very aggressive, I hate this, you're not doing this. And by the time the date was halfway through, it would be I'm sorry and everything like that. This was almost daily.
Like I said, I get that. Like I understand what you're explaining as far as how he is. Okay?
What's that called? You're saying? If I'm understanding it.
1978.
Thank you. Sorry.
But like I said, I understand how you're explaining him and how he is.
Who's getting phone
Okay.
messages?
But like I said, I still feel like you know more than what you're telling us.
So just to wrap up a little bit, obviously we grabbed the phone that was on the driveway. We'll process that. Thank you for the iPad, for the test for the iPad.
The girls found that, they said that's what, so I didn't know anything about that.
Okay, we got that. Is there any reason why child's blood or anything DNA related will be in your vehicle? Because that got to the back to our station, our CSA, they're gonna thoroughly look for everything in that vehicle.
I couldn't tell you if he was bleeding from when he was doing the thing, he helped load up the truck, so if he was bleeding,
Your truck or your Armada?
my Armada, like, he was putting the things in the car, like anything else
Sure,
he
but
had.
there's gonna be obvious areas where blood doesn't belong even if you're loading. So I'm just asking you directly, because if we do find any DNA evidence in that vehicle, obviously we wanna make sure we asked you if there would be a reason.
No, the only thing I know he said was his hand that he hit on the table. That's the only time he ever said he was bleeding, and he said it got a pretty good gash.
But you didn't see that.
No, I did not, so I can't really speak on it. But he was still loading everything up, so I don't think it was really bothering him that much.
And then just to confirm, you don't know how his phone got there on the driveway.
No, I know he was smoking, and when I went back over there and I said, girls, where did you find this? They pointed to it, there is cigarette butts there. So I don't know if he was just smoking and put it down and just didn't pick it back up, but you can take those, and I'm sure it'll be his.
When you guys unloaded everything, how long did that take?
30 minutes, he was bragging, saying that, yeah, I can always do this as quick as can be, but he tries to stretch things out because he charges by the hour. I remember having that conversation.
And when you guys left Palo Duro to come back here, or when you left that night, or this morning, which way did you go? Like as far as like when you left Palo Duro, like it?
I headed up towards the Durango area to get the medication.
But when you left that neighborhood, did you go straight out to Pecos or Windmill? Or did you go to Pecos?
No, we know.
You went out the one exit to get out to Windmill right there, right by the school?
Yeah.
And then normally you guys come this way when you're coming to your house?
It just depends, like if the 15 is coming back up, I will take like the 215 and go around, or the Decatur, it really just depends on the time of day when we go in different directions.
Okay. 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 Alright, well, we appreciate it. Hopefully, that you're telling us everything is the truth. So I will give you a call, or like I said, we'll have your phone. We're gonna get that download, because we're going with that too.
Okay.
And then I'll call Devyn tomorrow.
Yeah.
Devyn.
Just call that.
I'll call Dev tomorrow, and then try to figure out the time. But he has to work with tomorrow. Right?
Yeah. Sorry, that's right.
I know, sorry. A good phone number to reach you for returning the phone?
Oh, you have my phone?
Yeah, so you said you have a landline, is that something?
I do not know it. It's,
Should we call Dev's phone then?
yeah.
I know the phone's ready.
Well, you just told me to pick it up around 11.
Well,
We don't know because we haven't heard again from anyone. They tested them. There was no presumptive evidence on them. There was 3 different samurai swords, but we haven't heard that they have any evidence.
I know you just have the address, so I don't even have the address anymore.
oh yeah, you're right.
Because you wrote it on the paper and I handed it back to you.
Let me give that to you, and then if you want to, just come by tomorrow. Pick it up, yeah. You have that card, right?
Yes, sir.
The address is on the card. 223 West Street. That's where you need to go.
No, the card is in my car.
And I'll get that back to you. So maybe I'd say 1 o'clock tomorrow. Come by the station 1 o'clock tomorrow.
Okay, go
Okay.
for a shot.
Hopefully everything will be done.
Okay.
So if you can figure out how to get right down there, I can try to get everything done for you.
Okay.
Okay, and if it's not, at least I hope I can just get you the phone back.
Okay.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. Like I said,
And then,
if there is, I don't think there's
A lot of that, because I don't think he was bleeding a lot, because I didn't see it, but I do know he did mention it.
so it is 9:25, that's the end of the interview.
And Detective, it sounded toward the very end there like the plan was to release Miss Michaels and go about your investigation.
Correct.
And fair to say that there was a pretty substantial amount of digital and forensic investigation that occurred after that interview we
Yes,
just heard.
absolutely.
Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
As some of you already mentioned, Miss Jessica was on yesterday with Justice Serve TV. I did a little promo package yesterday for all of you to go watch it because it was Veterans Day. She is, and every time I try and say what she did in the army, I am always wrong. She was an EOD support element. I think that's the right word. In Kandahar, Afghanistan, back in the day, she knew the twins far well, and they got to talk a little bit about it. She couldn't get into too much details, but she did a great job, even though she had some technical problems. And StreamYard was acting a little bit funny, it seemed like. But the interview doesn't seem. This I'm thinking, Miss Jessica's. No, there was nothing wrong with that one. Delulu, you're right. The only thing is, why does she have his phone and his keys and that? Well, he was trying to go bankrupt, so he wanted me to hide it. Sounds a little weird. I took my mom to Zoo Miami yesterday, and then we went to a place called Duffy's where veterans ate for free. It was awesome. Oh, how nice of them. Hey, Ashen. Yes, if anyone asks what EOD is, it's people who dispose of things that go boom. I was supplied for an EOD unit. I was in charge of 32 million of equipment all over the country. See, now she's going to yell at me just like all my mods because why can't you remember? I know it's something with bombs. I don't know anything. That was a really good interview. Miss Jessica did great. I could never. No, it takes some cojones to go on stream, especially when equipment is acting up. You'll get a little flustered. So I think she's guilty. I have a hard time believing she acted alone. I think I'm with you, Robin. She got to talk to Michael. Hey, Rhonda. Was an amazing interview. Well, I had nothing to do with bombs. I was in the military for quite some time. I never ever handled anything with bombs. I was trained how to go out and put a knife into the ground to see if there's mines. I wouldn't trust me doing that. Oh, you are fine. It's just beginner nerves. That's what it's about. But oh yeah, and she might have dropped a little turtle boy message later. I heard that as well. It's Michael. He just spells it without an A. Michelle. Well, people spell their names weirdly. I don't know why, but no. Good thing. Good thing. Good thing happened yesterday. I was glad I woke up and watched it. Yes, Michael got to talk to Miss Jessica. He was the lucky one. Talking to people, this Saturday, Runkle will have his 24 hours fundraising stream for the Toronto Children's Hospital. I believe it's Toronto. Remember, everyone, you don't have to contribute monetarily if you don't have the means or anything, but just showing up and helping out. Kind of like yesterday when Miss Jessica saw one of you wonderful people in chat, she probably felt, ooh, I know that person. I don't have to be nervous. Us streamers, if you come in and we're doing these long streams and you're making it a little bit funny, you can give us that extra energy. And Runkle is going to need a whole heck of a lot of energy for his 24-hour stream this Saturday to see if he can try and beat his money raised amount from last year. I know there is normally games, guests, and giveaways. I bet it's going to be the same this year. So remember, this Saturday is when you have to come and watch Runkle and share the word. Get him to be way up there in the people who contributes, because Runkle is a good egg. He's even a good elf. And I hate elves because I always played dwarves when I played role playing. Just saying. This one. Yes, Stollery Children's Hospital in Edmonton, Alberta, as I said clearly. I had the link up for the Give and Go earlier in my morning stream, and I have to share that at some point. He's a good Targaryen. He is. So, yes, thank you so much, Jemima. This is the link to his fundraiser. He's a very good person. Not only is he doing stuff like this, but he's also very generous with his time, his advice, and his opinions. And you all know and love him. So there's nothing to do but show up and show him some love. Again, it's not about the money you can donate. It's also very much about just giving you that little when you're feeling a little down in the end of the day.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Jeffrey, whenever you're ready, cross examination.
Thank you. Detective Skinner, if we could start with a timeline of 8/7,
Okay.
Specifically in reference to Devyn.
Yes.
Right? It's your understanding that she was initially interviewed at 12:11, just after noon on 8/7, correct?
Would that be that first interview with Ozawa and Pappas?
Correct.
I'm not familiar with the timeline. That sounds about right.
And then at 14:29 hours on 8/7, you and Detective Ozawa go to the Porcupine Rim residence.
Yes, sir.
And when you arrive, you see Devyn getting things out of the Nissan, correct?
Yes,
The Nissan was parked, the Yamato was parked in the driveway,
it
correct?
was.
While you and Detective Ozawa are walking up in the driveway, it's your testimony that this phone at issue is next to the driveway, correct?
Yes,
Next to the Armada.
fairly close.
And then at 15:08 hours, Devyn is interviewed at the Porcupine Rim residence by both yourself and Detective Ozawa in the vehicle, correct?
Yes,
And then it's at 15:20, while Devyn is being interviewed, the girls bring up the phone, correct?
yes,
So the phone has been out there, at least based upon your seeing it, from at least 14:29 hours, correct?
yes, it is.
And it's nearly an hour or so later than the girls bring up the phone. Fair to say?
Yes,
There's discussions concerning this phone, Daddy's phone, something along those lines, correct?
yes.
And the phone is looked into, correct? It's handled.
It was handled, yes.
At this point in time, the airplane mode is not switched on, correct?
Correct.
So if there's notifications on the phone, presumably those notifications now by operation of looking at the phone, getting into the phone, those are no longer there, correct?
Fair to say.
Devyn confirms that it's Jonathan's phone.
She does.
And in fact says, here, this should help you, correct?
Yes,
And then at 19:19, a search warrant for Porcupine Rim and the vehicles is signed, correct?
yes.
Was there a previous affidavit that had been submitted for the search of the Porcupine residence, or was that the first?
I am not certain on that.
Detective Ozawa would
Yes, sir.
probably be better suited.
Yes,
But we do know that at 7:19 or 19:19, a search warrant for the Porcupine Rim vehicles was signed, correct?
yes,
And then this interview, this last one that we were listening today, began at 19:55.
yes,
And obviously reference then is made to this phone again, correct? The phone that's found.
that's correct.
Through the course of this interview that we heard last week and this week, there's reference made to Jonathan losing his license, correct? Previously.
His wallet, I believe.
Okay. And in fact, you've learned through the course of the investigation, there were texts that confirmed that.
Yes,
So there've been texts between Devyn and Jonathan wherein, hey, Jonathan's lost his license. It's found, and there's a discussion in reference to that, correct?
again, specifically, she mentioned wallet.
Okay. But they were actually both lost at one point in time, were they not? At one time the wallet and another time the license, and they communicate concerning the losing of the wallet and the license and the finding of both? in their text
You can make the
messages?
assumption that the license is in the wallet. However, I'm only privy to what she disclosed to us, which was his wallet specifically, and that he had sent a picture to prove that he found it.
But then I told there are pictures to prove, in fact, and corroborates what she had said, that prior to your interview on this date, he lost his wallet and or license and found them, and they texted about it, correct?
Correct.
There had been, through the course of your interview, a reference made to Andrea, Jonathan's previous girlfriend, and the pulling of a knife, something along those lines, correct?
Yes.
There was, in fact, an incident somewhere where that had been discussed previously.
I'm sorry, repeat
There
that.
had been an incident where, I mean, there had been some discussion among the family about Andrea pulling a knife or something along those
That's my
lines.
understanding, yes.
In reference to an injury that Devyn says that John had told her about, she said that she never saw a bleeding injury, correct?
That's correct.
She had said that Jonathan had told her that he had hurt himself moving, correct?
Correct.
She had made reference to a white table that he was moving, correct?
Yes,
And in fact, that white table that she had discussed with you was in the garage.
it was.
Again, it confirms the movement of this table. It had the big folding sides, correct? It was
Yes.
found in the garage. And she made it a point to say she didn't see any blood. He had just said that he'd injured himself moving that, correct?
Yes.
You'd fair to say, I mean, based upon common experience and knowledge, people can hurt themselves, whether it be a cut, a pinch, something like that, in moving heavy furniture.
Yes, absolutely.
There was a discussion concerning some medical conditions that Devyn had, correct?
Yes.
She had talked about this inability to engage in actual intercourse, and you followed up in questions.
I did.
To that, correct?
Yes.
She had said, you can look at my medical records, I have these medical conditions, correct?
Yes.
And are you aware that she, in fact, had medical conditions concerning sex and things that addressed such?
No.
Did you take any follow-up steps to substantiate that she, in fact, had seen a doctor for a variety of different reasons?
At the time, it wasn't relevant. Her medical history and the fact of whether she could be intimate with her partner, it was more of things that were being discussed during an interview to clear up the confusion over the relationships. Since at that point, we were very unclear on her relationship with individuals in her life. So at that point, her diagnosis, if she had intimacy issues, it just wasn't something that was relevant to the investigation.
At that point in time.
Correct.
And obviously, these investigations they're not necessarily static, they're ongoing, correct?
Yes, very much so.
They're dynamic.
Yes.
Devier had been interviewed on 8/7, correct?
Yes.
And again, fair to say that both you and Detective Ozawa were kind of having a difficulty understanding this relationship dynamic between the parties.
Absolutely.
Fair to say that Devyn's statements weren't necessarily helpful at times.
You could say that, yes.
Fair to say that Devier's explanations of things were not necessarily helpful at times.
Correct.
Through the course of your interview with Devyn, you talk about rings, and that rings are significant.
Yes.
They're a sign of a commitment.
Yes.
She had testified that she wasn't, or she had told you that she wasn't particularly sure what was in the bag, correct?
Yes.
Things were being moved, things were kind of hectic, correct?
That is correct.
Fair to say it's kind of ambiguous concerning when these contents were put in the bag, correct?
Ambiguous as when they were placed in the bag?
Yes.
No, she indicated that that occurred at a specific time or instance at the home before they turned around and went right back to Porcupine.
But we know for a fact that they actually were at the home and they actually went to the other home, to the Paladera.
Yes.
Again, a lot going on, correct?
Yes.
Devyn had been subjected to multiple interviews on 8/7.
Yes.
There was discussions concerning keys, both the key or keys to the subject truck as well as Andrea's keys, correct?
Yes.
And she had told you that she had handled or was aware of the keys in both instances, correct?
Yes, she indicated one had Andrea's name on it and the other one was a set of truck keys that were next to some.
You were able to corroborate that Jonathan was a smoker
Correct.
of both tobacco as well as marijuana.
Yes, I believe the lab confirmed that as well.
Yes. When you were at the Paladera residence, obviously there was evidence of smoking both inside and outside the house, correct?
Yes.
As well as alcohol bottles, things of that nature.
Yes.
You had testified that the interview techniques initially concerning Devyn, I think you said were more like free form?
Correct.
That nature?
Yes.
But then they became, through the course of the day, more accusatory.
Yes.
You testified that you engaged in another form of interview technique, correct?
Correct.
A more confrontational technique.
Yes.
And that was employed by both you as well as Detective Ozawa.
Yes.
The read technique is generally used by your police department.
I wouldn't say that it's used by our department. A lot of people are trained in the read technique. However, most of us that have been detectives for, several years, we develop our own technique. We'll take a little bit of something that we've learned in a class that works for us, and then there's other times that we'll be taking online courses, or through just our course of our experience, we'll adapt our techniques to our own strengths.
So, however, it's fair to say that you have been trained and implement the read technique.
I have been trained in read, but I don't believe that I'm still implementing that.
Same question, if, to your knowledge, Detective Ozawa, the read technique is generally the beginning, the basis of interview techniques.
I would say it's a basis generally, but I don't know that Detective Ozawa has taken that course.
Okay. Early on, and this is now before your interview with Devyn, you were engaged in an interview with Yoko at the Polidoro residence, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
That interview began at 10:43 a.m.
Yes.
and concluded at 11:28 a.m., correct?
Yes.
45 minutes.
Very fast.
45 minutes.
Yeah.
You were there to try and gain information to help you in your investigation, correct?
Yes.
She cooperated.
She did.
You didn't have the use of an interpreter, but it was clear that you both understood each other.
Yes.
At times were discussed concerning that night in question.
Yes.
On 3 different occasions, it was discussed a noise that disturbed her at 3 a.m., correct?
I don't recall a noise being discussed.
Dogs barking.
Okay, dogs barking, yes.
On 3 different instances during that interview, there's a discussion of dogs at 3 a.m., correct?
Okay. I have no reason not to believe you.
And if I showed you the interview.
This is the part that we will not be able to understand because we don't speak Japanese, or well, at least I don't. But Harry, who is taking Japanese lessons right now, was listening to the mom who I believe will testify. Maybe it's not till the next day she's going to testify, but they are arguing. Her and the interpreter is arguing about that time, and as Harry hears it, she says 3 o'clock multiple times, and then it could be 2 o'clock.
Transcript, you have no reason to disagree.
I would not disagree if I could read them.
So 3 times dogs at 3 a.m., correct?
Sure, yes.
Okay, I'm not tricking you.
Yes, sir.
At no time was there any discussion of a bang or anything like that at 2 a.m., correct?
Not that I recall.
Because that's something that you would have taken note of, because it would have
been significant.
If I can have the court's indulgence just one moment.
Sure.
Follow-up question concerning the phone. We had discussed the phone being gotten into and not, put on airplane mode, which would have wiped the notifications, correct?
Correct.
Yoko had discussed calling Jonathan multiple times that morning, correct?
Yes.
Outside of it failing to have been put on airplane mode, was the phone ever taken off the network that you're aware of?
That's not something I would be aware of personally.
Okay. Thank you. I have no further questions.
Thank you.
Yes, very briefly. Detective, with regards to the line of questioning related to the notifications on the phone, you would, I presume, defer to experts on airplane mode and that type of thing, correct?
That's correct.
The fact that there were no notifications on home screen when you first saw the phone, was that important for you for any purpose?
Absolutely. There were statements made by Devyn that she had contacted or tried to contact Jonathan several times. So in my personal experience, I would believe that there would be notifications unless that phone had been interacted with prior to picking it up and bringing it over to the car.
Okay, and there will be an expert that talks about the contents of the phone. That's not for you.
Not my
to talk
forte.
But let's presume for a second that she did in fact text or call John after his death. Would this be something that you've seen before in cases where people try to alibi themselves or cover up?
Yes, frequently people will call someone they clearly know is deceased. They will go to their work and pretend and put on an act per se.
Okay.
So there are times that does happen.
So, not for you to say, but
No.
It's not surprising to see someone call someone post-murder to essentially alibi and or cover up.
Correct.
I'll pass it.
Some follow-up. You've had investigations where someone leaves a cell phone at a home and then goes and commits a serious crime, correct?
Yes.
Again, to perhaps establish an alibi concerning their whereabouts.
Yes.
In reference to the phone, Jonathan's phone, there was communication, specifically a text sent by Devyn to Jonathan about 3:56 a.m., correct?
I'd have to defer to the records, but I have no reason to believe that that didn't happen.
And that concerned the girls in registration that was to occur the morning of the 7th, correct?
Yes.
Additionally, we had heard testimony last week concerning a landline at the Paladura residence. There was, in fact, a landline.
Yes,
at that
there was.
residence. And on the night in question, late 8/6 into 8/7, there were multiple phone calls from the landline at Porcupine to Devyn's phone, correct?
It's my understanding that there were, yes.
Previous night, that would be the night of August 5th, there were multiple phone calls from the Porcupine residence, that's where Devier and the girls, to Devyn's phone, correct?
I believe so. Again, I'd have to defer to the records to be certain.
Fair. Thank you. No further questions.
Okay.
Anton says, so if the defense are going for the blame the husband Stepson route, are they going to tell us where the head is if they argue that she was trying to protect him? I don't think they're going to try to claim she protected him. I think maybe that's not where they're going. They're just going to say he was the one who did it. But that's what I'm seeing so far. And I have to agree that defense team is actually a good defense team. It's a really good defense team. A third of K? What? That's 333.
No, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Jerry, have any questions for this witness? Sir, if you'd like to question on a full sheet of paper with your name and your jury number, and counsel can approach.
Oh, there's questions. Questions.
Did you check the white table in the garage for blood, the table right there?
I personally did not check the table. However, our CSAs are printing analysts as well. The detectives did, and they photographed the garage as a whole as well.
Okay, what did they find?
There was no blood on the table.
Okay. State any follow based on the jury.
No, thank you.
Defense?
Just very briefly, and it involves actually the phone. The girls were handling the phone prior to being given to you,
I
correct?
did not see the girls. I would assume that they had handled it. They had to pick it up and bring it over to us. Now, whether they manipulated it, I couldn't tell you.
Swiped up, anything like that, you
Could
can't
not
say.
tell you. They appear to have just walked over from where the phone was and up to the mom's side of the car.
But just so we're clear, though, that phone was out in the driveway for some time, correct?
It was, yes.
In fact, through the course of Devier's interview, he had made reference to that phone, correct?
I wasn't in that interview, so I couldn't speak to that.
Thank you. No further questions.
Any follow up on that state?
No, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the jury have any further questions for this witness? Okay, seeing no response, name no excuse. Thank you very much for your testimony here today.
Yes.
Answer please. State your name and spell it correctly.
My full name is Jared Spangler. It's Jared. Spangler is Spangler.
State where you're ready.
Sir, how are you employed?
I am a detective with the Henderson Police Department.
How long have you worked in that capacity?
I have been a detective for 15 years, and I've been with the Henderson Police Department for 22 years.
What unit are you assigned to as a detective?
I currently work in the Digital Forensic Lab.
Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury a little bit about that unit?
Yeah, the Digital Forensic Lab analyzes cell phones, computers, tablets, vehicle infotainment systems, smart devices. Anytime there's a crime that occurs where there's an electronic device that may have potential evidence, it comes to the Digital Forensic Lab, and we analyze it in a forensically sound method so that we can extract the data and then be able to present it to the detective for their investigation, for their final determination what they're going to do with their investigation.
And what type of programs are used to do that?
There's several different programs. We have, specifically for cell phones, we use Celebrite. We also use another software company called Axiom. Those work as well for tablets. When it comes to vehicles, we have a software system called Burla. And there's some other ones, but those are the main ones that we utilize to extract the data from those devices and then to analyze that data.
Can you tell us a little bit about your background, training, and experience that makes you qualified to be able to do these investigations?
Yes. So, like I said, I've been in the Digital Forensic Lab for about 10 years now. I've performed over 3,900 examinations, all sorts of different devices. I've been trained by the FBI, the HSI, Secret Service. They have a national facility that they train 100 hours of vacation and 12.
Contacted by Detective Ozawa in regards to a vehicle infotainment system.
Yes, I was.
And
Was he mentioned in the Karen Reed case? Spankler. Cellbrite expert. Am I getting this wrong, or was Spankler also mentioned in connection to the infotainment where they couldn't get anything from it? I think I remember that name from somewhere.
was the obtaining of that vehicle infotainment system a part of a search warrant that was granted by a judge?
Yes, that is correct.
And this was for a homicide investigation that had occurred on August 7th, 2023, or began at that time.
Correct.
I believe the request was made by Detective Ozawa for this investigation, the digital investigation, and that was to be performed on a gray 2017 Nissan Armada. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
And the VIN number for that is JN8AY2NF9H9300802. Is that correct?
That sounds correct.
Do you have a reason to dispute that?
That sounds right, yeah.
Okay. And it was your understanding that that vehicle had belonged to a Devyn Michaels, correct?
Correct.
And did you actually make contact with the vehicle?
I did, yes.
Where did you make contact with the vehicle?
The vehicle was located in the basement of our police station, and so that's where I went to the basement.
And is that common sometimes for vehicles to have their investigations done in that basement area?
Yes, it's a secure area where it's not going to be disturbed. No one will be
Thank
around
you,
the
Brandon.
vehicle. It
Now
has
I know what you're talking about.
Door that prevents anybody from coming in and potentially altering any evidence or anything like that.
So it's a very contained area, is that
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay. When you came into contact with the vehicle, it had already previously been sealed prior to being transported to this basement, correct?
That is correct.
And prior to your testimony, there were a lot of photos that were taken in this case, but you saw the vehicle yourself, correct?
I did.
Okay, and you reviewed these photos prior to testifying today, these in my hand, correct?
Yes, I did.
And I believe pursuant to stipulation between the parties, the state is going to move to admit 442 through 463.
Those stipulations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
442 to 463, be stipulated to,
Permission to publish?
Yes.
Showing youth 442. What do we see there?
That's the 2017 Nissan Armada.
And 443, another angle of that.
Yes. Same vehicle.
444,
Yes.
445, we get a license plate there, and can you read that into the record?
Yep. It's Nevada 30A as an Adam 470.
446, another angle of the vehicle.
Yes.
And I want to note sort of both passenger doors to this vehicle. There appears to be these red tapings there. What are those?
That is evidence tape that I believe the crime scene analysts are the one that put those on there so that you would know if someone's opened the door, if it's been altered, because the seal would be broken.
And that's the sealing
Oh,
we were talking about earlier,
okay,
correct?
thank you.
447, just a close-up there with the seal, correct?
Correct.
Then 448, obviously you go inside the vehicle, is that right?
Yes.
And is this just a photo of inside the vehicle, the front side of the vehicle?
Yes, driver's side.
449, what do we see here?
The gear shifter and the middle console.
450, another angle of that area,
Yes.
taken from the passenger side.
That is correct.
451, are you aware of this being located inside the vehicle?
I didn't personally see it.
Okay. But no reason to dispute that it would have been
Correct.
found in the vehicle.
Yes.
452, are we getting to the back of the vehicle now?
Yes, we are.
Okay, and this would be on the driver's side, correct?
Correct.
453, same back of the vehicle, but now from the passenger side.
Yes.
454, is this just under the hood of the vehicle,
Yes, it is.
the engine area?
Yes.
455, would this be the rear trunk of the vehicle?
Yes, that is correct.
And this was a hatchback, so the back would actually lift in the air, is that right?
Yes.
456, more of the trunk of the vehicle.
Correct.
What is being lifted up at that point?
I'm not sure. It seems to be some type of covering for the back there.
But it was searched, it looks like.
Yeah, yes, it was.
457, more of the vehicle.
Yes.
458, what do we see here happening?
So the vehicle infotainment system is behind the screen of what you would see inside the vehicle. So you can see the screen up above, but right beneath it is where there's a hard drive. And so in order to extract the data from the infotainment system, I have to get that hard drive out of the vehicle. So I had to disassemble some of the components so that I could access the hard drive.
And there's actually a mouse in front of you if you want to hover over that area you were just talking about. Yes, don't click. Just hover, please. Please hover, sir, in that area you were speaking about.
So you can see that there's these little wires right here, the little connection points that I had to disconnect. The logic board where the hard drive is attached to. There's one right there, and there's a few down here. But in order to access this, you have to take the whole front face piece off of it.
And do we see that in that photo, that front face piece?
Yeah.
Can you please hover over that?
Right up above, up here. That's where like the volume for the stereo is, to change the channel, and things of those nature. So all that had to come out. So I lifted it and put it up there.
And this is a typical procedure of what you would do when trying to collect data from a infotainment system, correct?
That is correct.
And showing you 459, what do we see here?
These are, so once the logic board is taken out, I had to take specific pieces of that apart so I could access the hard drive. So what you're seeing here, there's one there's a second one here, and a third one. These are just cover pieces on the board itself to protect the hard drive so that if there's any, I don't know, maybe liquid or anything like that, it's protected. So I had to remove these pieces off of the hard drive itself and the logic board so I could access the hard drive.
Showing you 460, we see an extra piece there. What is that?
So this here is it's just a secondary logic board that's connected to the first one, and I believe over here, kind of to the side, but pretty sure the hard drive was connected to this logic board over here. So it's just more pieces that need to be removed in order to access the hard drive.
And these tools that we see sort of above that area, I'm pointing there for you. It looks like some screwdrivers and different tools. That would be a part of your kit. Is that right?
That is correct.
Not something found in the vehicle.
No, not at all.
461. What do we see here?
More of the same pieces that were attached to the logic board themselves, and the tools are above there.
Now, these green objects, those are the logic boards that you're referring to?
Correct.
Okay. 462. Just more components to it.
That is correct. Coverings for the hard drive itself, yes.
463. What do we see there?
Some more of the tool sets. Right here is the back piece. You can see that there's a little vent because it has to keep cool, so it has to have air coming in and out. And then obviously all the screws that piece everything together to the main housing, and then just additional tools to perform the extraction of the hard drive.
So now that you've taken apart the infotainment system, what do you do after that point?
So once the hard drive has been removed from the logic board, I bring the hard drive back to the digital forensic lab, which is in the same building. I take it up to the digital forensic lab, and I connect the hard drive to a forensic computer. We have to use forensically sound methods, which means we have to prevent anything being written to the hard drive. So we use a write blocker, which only allows us to see the contents on the hard drive. So I can see the contents, but I'm not able to alter those. That way we preserve the evidence. So at that point, we create a digital forensic fingerprint, we'll call it. It's a hash value, but it's a fingerprint of the data on the hard drive. So when I extract the data and I put it on my forensic computer, I can then create another fingerprint and compare the two to what it was before and what it was afterwards to make sure they match. So I extracted the information, put it on the forensic computer, then I open up the Burla software that I mentioned earlier, which allows us to process and analyze the specific data on that hard drive.
So specifically, what type of data is being imported into this Burla software?
So the hard drive contents itself, there's databases. That's usually what infotainment systems have, are databases. Kind of think like an Excel spreadsheet. It's a database with input, data on there. And from there, it has to be analyzed. It has to be sorted through to figure out what specifically is it saying. What is the data?
So it may be an oversimplification, but it's essentially Burla acts as sort of a reader of the data. Is that right?
Yes.
And then puts it in a reader-friendly format so that you can actually see what this data is saying?
That is correct.
And it's not altering the data at any point when you're importing it from the drive into the Burla system, correct?
Correct.
So after you do that, the raw data is now inside the Burla system. What does the system do? Or what does the software do at that point?
It allows the user to be able to analyze it. So it specifically for infotainments. This infotainment system, it recorded GPS location, and that GPS location is organized in trips. So when you start the vehicle, as soon as you put the key in and it turns it on to the accessories or on to the on position, it begins recording GPS, and it records that as a trip. So we'll just say that's going to be trip number 1. Every second that GPS is recording on that trip number 1. So you may drive from here, point A to point B. As soon as you turn the vehicle off, that's trip 1. If you take the key out, you turn it back on, now you're on trip 2. And so it organizes it in these databases I was mentioning earlier. It organizes it in a process where you can see the trips. You can see the latitude, the longitude, the elevation, the speed during each GPS waypoint. So it records all these waypoints and it's organized in a way. So Burla, the software, allows us to go through and map all those waypoints, those GPS waypoints, so we can see the trip. So we can physically see, okay, this is where it started, and it's going along, and this is where it ended. And this was the speed, and such and such.
And it takes into account dates and times, correct?
Yes, I forgot to mention, I apologize. It does, every second that the GPS pings, as we'll call it, it records a date and a timestamp.
And then ultimately, are videos created that show in a friendly manner where the vehicle is moving at what date and what time around the valley?
Yes, the software, the Burla software allows you to take one of those trips and animate it so that it's what we would be visually appealing for us, what we're used to seeing. It puts it on a map and you can see it, plot it. You can see the vehicle go the direction and go from point A to point B.
So now that you have this raw data or this information that was put into the Burla software at this point, it's in a way that you can actually read it now. You then get some information that was gathered from Detective Ozawa, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and that was related to the investigation. Specifically then, having that information, did you hone in on the dates of August 6th, 2023 to August 7th, 2023?
Yes,
And that was because that was of importance in the investigation, correct?
that is correct.
Okay. And how do you actually sort of, do you just filter to those dates and times, or how do you just hone in on that?
Yeah, because everything's recorded in a descending from the oldest to the newest, you just scroll down to the dates you want, and you can see everything in with a 24-hour period or a 12-hour period, whatever is requested by the detective. And so he requested a specific time period, and so I just scrolled down and highlighted those at that point. Those were the focus. And
you were able to find 11 videos of evidentiary value, is that right?
Yes.
And so that would essentially be 11 trips or so?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. And prior to testifying today, you provided those trips on a flash drive, is that correct?
Yes, I did.
And I believe at this time, Your Honor, pursuant to stipulation of the parties, the state is going to move to admit Exhibit 7.
Yes, Your Honor.
Permission to publish?
Yes.
Don't format it.
Don't
please.
format it, okay. Can I ask you to step down? Do you know what's going on with it, or?
Yeah, if that's okay.
You're
Yeah.
you're the tech guy, so I better leave it to you.
Your Honor, I think I need to watch this all happen right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here. Titled number 1. This is why we employ the experts. All right, sir. So I have pulled up here Exhibit 7. It appears that there are videos entitled number 1 through number 11.
We don't see it.
Oh, that would
Sorry.
be helpful.
Come on.
Again, video number 1 through video number 11 of Exhibit 7, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And going through this, obviously you went through each video, and there's certain trips that became important as part of the investigation, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So we're going to open up video number 1. I'm going to pause that. What do we see here in video number 1?
So this is the Burla software that I was explaining earlier. These videos I created, I just used a Windows capture program so you could see what I see as an examiner. So this is the Burla software. The trips that were of importance, I made videos for those trips. So this is one of the trips. If you look, I'm not going to click, but I'm going to hover my mouse over here. You can see this is the timestamp of when this trip, we're looking at the trips, when this trip began on 8/6 of 2023 at 5:19 p.m. That's adjusted for UTC, for our time. It's not UTC. Everything is recorded in UTC. So we have to subtract the 7 hours. And then the trip ends on the same date at 5:58 and 33 seconds p.m. So one thing you'll notice if you look over here, you can see the count is 2,368. That's how many waypoints. Every second the GPS is recording, that's how many waypoints or GPS points are recorded in this trip. So you can see the distance was 25 miles, the elapsed time, the average speed, those things that that the GPS system will actually record. So what I did was, when we hit play, you'll be able to see, I'm going to animate this trip so you can follow where it goes.
And just briefly, because I don't think we've talked about this yet, can you explain what UTC time is?
Yes, so it's Greenwich time. It's the time over in England, and we are every hour. It's spread out by distance, and where we are at right now, we are. Well, I think we're at 8 now, but we were -7 at the time. So it's either -7 or -8. So everything's recorded in UTC time. It's the same way with computers and cell phones, vehicle infotainments. Everything is recorded in UTC time, and then the system and us, we have to manually adjust according to time, daylight savings or not.
And so the times we're seeing here are not UTC, they're the correct times.
They're
correct?
adjusted, yeah. And it even...
Yeah, I'm working on that.
It said it on
Thank
there.
you.
I adjusted it so we wouldn't have to do any math in our head or anything. It's just automatically adjusted.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and press play on this video. And then I think we saw you click animate tracking. That's that process you were explaining previously, right?
Yes.
What else do we use?
So you're looking at the overview at this second. I'm zooming in so that as I hit play, you can follow it along.
Okay.
So this is where the trip starts. And you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, again, I'm not going to click, but you can see down here the date and the time when the trip started.
And what is that, just for the record?
That is 8/6 of 2023 at 5:19 and 12 seconds p.m.
And that's just where we're stopped right now, correct?
Correct, yes.
And we're able to determine that that dot right there is the 2698 Paladura Drive in Henderson, correct?
That is correct.
And then I'll go ahead and play for more. And what I notice right now is it's going fairly quickly. It looks like, I'll stop here.
Yeah,
The
if you
bottom
pause it.
right, there's something that says 5 times. What does that mean?
Yeah, over here next to the mouse, 5x. I didn't want to have a 45-minute video for a 45-minute trip, so I times it by 5 so it'd be a little bit quicker so that I could condense it a little bit. That's the only reason I made it 5 times, so we wouldn't be here all day watching videos.
And we appreciate that. Playing the video.
So at this point, you can see there's just a little bit of movement. It means the vehicle's on, it hasn't moved yet. There's a little bit of movement, doesn't necessarily move that the vehicle, it doesn't mean that the vehicle has moved, it just means that it's on and it's recording GPS location. Kind of bounce around a little bit right in front of the residence. And you can see down here, the seconds are moving rather quickly, but you can see the seconds there. Roughly 20, 25, and so on.
I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here. Okay. At about, I think it was around 5:32, we then see the vehicle begin to move. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and I'll press play. And it appears it's going down Windmill Parkway at this point outside of the neighborhood.
Yes.
And ultimately, this trip, as I scroll across, is just the vehicle is traveling across the valley, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Here in Las Vegas.
Yes.
And then ultimately, the vehicle comes to a stop, is that right?
Yes.
And that stop happens at 5510 Porcupine Rim Street, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And that's essentially the end of this trip.
Yes.
Okay. Then we have another trip, and that's labeled as video number 2, correct?
Yes.
Publishing.
You might have to use VLC.
And again, you're clicking animate tracking, correct? Or
Yes.
track log, excuse me. And where is the start of this trip?
At the Porcupine address?
The 5510 Porcupine Rim?
Correct, yes.
And what date and what time?
You can see the date down here. It is 8/6 of 2023 at 7:37 p.m.
Pressing play. And again, vehicle begins to travel, correct?
Yes.
I'm just quickly scrolling through. Again, this is at 5 times that you have it set at, correct?
That is
Or
correct.
5x. Ultimately, vehicle ending its trip at that same 2698 Paladura Drive, correct?
Yes,
In
correct.
Henderson?
Yes.
Okay, and roughly at about 8:06 p.m. on that same date, August 6, 2023, is when the vehicle comes to a stop on that trip, correct?
Correct.
And that's the end of that one.
Yes.
Okay. Opening file video number 3. Again, clicking animate track log.
So if I could just push pause just real quick. So this actually has 2 trips, and I'll explain real quick. So this first trip is very, very short. It's a span of 10 seconds. You can see the date here at 8/6/2023 at 11:05 and 46 seconds. The vehicle's either turned on or someone put the key into the accessory so you can listen to the radio. One of those 2 options. The vehicle was in on state. And for 10 seconds, this first trip here, I think we're calling it trip number 3, this trip number 3, the vehicle doesn't move, but the GPS is on and it's recording. And you're going to see that there's some movement there just because that's how GPS works. Sometimes it can be off anywhere from 5 to 30 feet, roughly.
And it is possible that the vehicle may have moved slightly, but it's hard to tell from this, correct?
Correct.
And then I'll go ahead and press play. Okay, what are we seeing here?
And yeah, that was the 10 seconds. So I don't stop recording at this point. I now go to the next one, which is a few hours later.
And I'm just going to pause. Around what time did that trip start?
So this is a few hours later on the 7th at 2:04 a.m.
August 7th, 2023 at 2:04 a.m., correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And again, at the 2698 Paladura Drive address.
Correct.
And the vehicle is now moving, correct?
Yes.
Going down Windmill.
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead a little bit. And I'm going to pause here. It looks like
Well, they couldn't because they couldn't figure out how to get the data off of the infotainment system. This is exactly what the Commonwealth claimed they had, and Plevin kept claiming they had, but they didn't have.
at about 2:28 in the morning, same date, August 7th, 2023, it looks like the vehicle is sort of hovering in this one location for a bit. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
And we determined that that was CVS located at Cheyenne and Durango with the address of 8320 West Cheyenne Ave, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Pressing play. The vehicle is now moving, is that right?
Yes.
At about 2:31 in the morning,
Yes.
same date?
Yes, on the August 7th.
I'll go ahead and skip ahead. The vehicle is making its way across the valley, correct?
Yes.
Ultimately landing at that 5510 Porcupine Rim address, correct?
Correct.
And the time being 2:44 in the morning or so
Yes.
on August 7th, 2023.
Yes.
playing video number 3 with the annotation zoomed in at the end. And this is that same trip, correct?
Yes, I labeled it as zoomed in. I wasn't sure what was going on. You can see that there's a lot of movement down there. And after further investigation, it seems like...
Okay, I'll stop you there. So at 2:44
Well,
in the morning...
that's the problem.
This is that Porcupine Rim sort of stop, but it appears that there is some movement within the neighborhood, correct?
Correct, yes.
Showing you video number 4. This is a new trip, correct?
Yes. This is at 8:01 a.m. on August 7th, 2023.
And the starting address is that 5510 Porcupine Rim address, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And I'll go ahead and skip ahead. Oh. It appears that the vehicle exits the neighborhood on Ann Road and then makes what looks like a U-turn back into the neighborhood,
Yes, that's correct.
back to that 5510 Porcupine Rim address, correct?
Yes,
And this is at 8:06 a.m.
that is correct. The vehicle's left on at this point.
The vehicle begins moving again roughly at 8:10
Yes.
in the morning. Go ahead and skip ahead.
Giggity.
I'm going to stop it right here at 8:16 in the morning. We see the vehicle, and it is stopped at what appears to be a Funny's gas station and car wash, correct?
That is correct.
And that's located at the intersection of Lone Mountain and Rancho there,
Funny's.
specifically 4747 North Rancho Drive, correct?
Yes, that is right.
Pressing play.
At this point, the vehicle is still on. As soon as it turns off, the trip ends. So it's still on for these remaining minutes.
There appears to be some slight movement there around 8:18 in the morning, correct?
Correct.
Still some slight movement there,
Yes.
inching along. And that trip then ends, correct?
Yes.
What is this showing?
Publishing video number 5. What time does this trip start?
This is on August 7th, 2023 at 8:21 a.m.
And this, again, we're starting at that Funny's car wash?
Correct.
Gas station? Looks like the vehicle begins to move around 8:21 or so.
Yes.
Sort of those slight movements we saw earlier. And now the vehicle is moving out of that area, correct?
Correct.
The vehicle then proceeds through the valley.
This is where
stopped
the vehicle
here.
parks.
Vehicle parks. Does it appear to have parked at a children's school, so at the Joy Pines, Washburn sort of intersection there?
Yes,
that we
there's
see?
elementary school there.
Okay, and that would be Ernest May Elementary School, correct?
Yes.
And the trip ultimately ends at that elementary school.
Correct.
Video number 6, picking up from there.
Come on.
And around, it appears 9:27 in the morning is when this trip starts, still on August 7th, 2023. And again, we are starting at that Ernest May Elementary School, correct?
That is correct.
And that trip ends vehicle goes back to that 5510 Porcupine Rim address, correct?
That's correct.
And
Yeah. She lived her life. Still no head, still no murder weapon.
Ends there, correct?
That is correct. At 9:30 a.m.
Publishing video number 7. Trip starts at that 5510 Porcupine Rim, correct? At 9:35 a.m.
Yes, on August 7th, 2023.
Her car.
Go ahead and skip through. Traveling across the valley. Looks like it's on Summerlin Parkway. Ultimately, trip is concluding at 9:57 a.m.
That is correct.
And that appears to be Summerlin Hospital, 657 North Town Center Drive, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Publishing video number 8. It appears to begin at that Summerlin Hospital address, correct?
Yes.
At 10:09 a.m.
Yes.
On August 7th, 2023.
That is right.
Eventually ending at that 5510 Porcupine Rim address, correct?
Correct.
And that was at 10:26 a.m. on August 7th, 2023.
Correct.
Publishing video number 9. The next trip. Starting out at the defendant's home, 5510 Porcupine Rim Street, at 11:33 in the morning, same date.
That's correct. Yes.
Ultimately, the vehicle traveling cross town to... Scrolled a little too fast there.
See you, Lady Tammy.
It appears the 2698 Paladura Drive address gets there around 12:07 in the afternoon.
Yes, that's correct.
And the car stays on at this point, it looks like?
Yes.
Scrolling forward a bit. And the trip ends there at 12:43 p.m., correct?
Correct.
Publishing video number 10.
This is really interesting.
Next trip. Starting out at that 2698 Paladura Drive, correct?
Yes.
At 12:51 p.m. or so.
Correct.
Scroll through. Trip ends at about 12:54 p.m. and it appears that it ends at a Taco Bell at the corner of Windmill and Pecos, correct?
Correct. It's like a parking lot right there.
Finally, video number 11. Publishing. It's the next trip. And it originates from that Taco Bell at 1:31 p.m. on the same date. Ultimately, once we scroll through, ending at that 5510 Porcupine Rim address, correct?
Correct.
It would make it more interesting.
And it ends at 2:01 p.m. on August 7th, 2023.
Correct.
And between all these videos, these were this was the date and time frame that Detective Ozawa was most interested in based on the investigation in the case, correct?
Yes.
Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Unit, correct? Detective Spangler, now, when the car comes in, you're the one that actually physically goes in and pulls out the unit, correct?
Inside the vehicle?
Yes.
Yes, that is correct.
So it's sealed at the scene, and it's not open until you open the door, correct?
I didn't open the doors. The crime scene analyst, since they're the ones taking the pictures, they physically opened the doors.
Were you present for that?
When they opened them?
Yep.
No.
Okay. In your time in spent in the car pulling out this unit, you kind of observe the general condition of the car when you're pulling out the unit, right?
Yes.
I'm putting up what's State's Exhibit 458. And then how do I switch over to this?
Yeah, we plug it back.
Yes, that's correct.
And right here is where you take the unit out, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's correct.
And you see this, console with brushes and various items of Miss Michaels, correct?
Correct.
I'm going to put up what's State's Exhibit 448. This is a different view from the car, correct?
Yes, the driver's side.
And you would go into the driver's side to get that unit, so you would probably sit in the driver's seat and pull that out.
I believe I accessed both sides, at some point throughout.
So you're aware of the, the condition of the car and kind of what's in there?
In the front, yes.
Right. It's kind of a messy car from your view of this, correct?
No.
I have teenagers, so my idea of messy might be a little different.
Well, it doesn't look like it would just, it's not wiped down. I mean, look, she's got brushes, there's things in the car, it's dirty, we have dirt on the floor, so it doesn't look like it just went and got detailed.
Correct.
Now, when you're accessing this unit and as you're pulling it out and looking at the console, and like you said, you accessed both sides of the car from the driver's side and potentially the passenger side?
Yes.
You didn't observe any blood in the car, did you?
I don't recall any blood.
Nothing on the steering wheel?
I don't recall touching the steering wheel, so I don't know, but I from my memory, I don't recall any blood on the steering wheel.
But you're in the middle looking at the console where someone would be touching, obviously they put the car in gear, they've got the shift knob, so they would have to touch that. You didn't see any blood on that?
I didn't.
I'm going to put up what State's Exhibit 451. This is just an ID that was found in there. Like, I believe you said that you didn't see this, but this is something that would have been in the car with Ms. Michaels' personal belongings, correct?
Yes, I personally didn't see this, so I don't know where it was, but the crime scene analyst must have taken it, so yeah.
Now, going back to the videos of the state put up, there was a end of video 3. There was like some squiggly lines kind of going. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And you previously testified that when the car's there, it can give or take 30, 50 feet. In that clip, it looked like it was zoomed in on.
5 to 33 feet.
5 to 33 feet.
Correct.
Okay. And then, are you aware of the Funny's gas station, or you just know the location?
I'm not aware of it. I just look at the map.
So it's not like you went out to Funny's and looked and saw what was there?
No.
Funny's gas station has gas pumps?
I would imagine.
And if I told you there was one, do you have any reason to disagree with me?
No.
At that location?
No.
Now, you looked at the infotainment system. Were you asked to do anything else on this case? To examine anything by Detective Ozawa at his request?
Yes. Later on, there was I believe it was a cell phone.
Cell phone, Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4 cell phone. I don't want to read off all the model numbers, but it's safe that you looked at that, or he asked you to examine that.
That is correct.
And that happened to be one of Devyn Michaels' phones, correct?
I believe so. Yes.
And that was a additional request by Detective Ozawa.
Yes.
Court's indulgence.
Thank you.
Get everything set up by the time you guys get back. This phone, email, text, the internet, or other means of communication or social media. You must have the state and vote for statement to presence of our jury.
Yes.
Erica says, I could be wrong, but I don't remember the Commonwealth taking this many pictures to document the process of intentionally damaging the infotainment system. They actually had quite a few pictures of the damaged center console, and they drew attention to it in the first walk around at Fairview 34. Why? Because they never ever put any of the evidence from the infotainment system in there. I don't know, but they did show some of it. Haven't heard anything about it yet. Yes, her car has been released. Apparently, it was very, very nasty. There was a local car guy who detailed it after. I don't know if he's finished with it, but he said it smelled like piss. And I'm going to go make myself some dinner. So I'll be turning this on. It's going to run for a while. Going to go make myself some dinner, and you can watch it.
Detective Luke Good.
Okay, and sir, you just stand and purposely.
Good afternoon.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank
you.
Officer, if you please state your full name and spell it for the record.
Yes, my name is Luke Good. First name Luke, last name Good.
What do you do for a living, sir?
I'm a detective at the Henderson Police Department.
How long have you been a detective with the Henderson Police Department?
I've been a detective for a little over 4 years now.
And in which unit are you currently assigned?
Currently, I'm in the Digital Forensics Laboratory.
And what does that entail?
In the digital forensics lab, we handle essentially all investigative technology. We do extractions on cell phones, we do cell site analysis and call detail records, vehicle stuff, anything that has a technological component or a computer or a cell phone involved, it comes to our lab.
What type of training and education do you have in order to do what you do?
Well, I have a bachelor's degree from Columbia Southern University in information systems and cybersecurity, and then we go through an extensive amount of training for my role in particular, just because of the nature of technology and how complex it can get. I've trained at the National Computer Forensics Institute in Hoover, Alabama, that's sponsored by the Secret Service, and then several other trainings with a lot of the vendors that we utilize. That gives us a good foundation to use their tools and just the knowledge that we need to do our job. That includes Celebrite, magnet forensics. I'm certified through them. I'm certified through the NW3C, which is the National White Collar Crime Center that's sponsored by the DOJ. So we have to have a lot of training and qualifications just to earn those certifications.
And you mentioned a couple of software programs. For today's purposes, what are the relevant software programs we're dealing with?
So for today's purpose, we're dealing with cell phone records. I utilize CastViz, which is a software that's created and maintained by the FBI. And then I also used ZX, it's called Trax now, which is just another company that produces the mapping software that we utilize.
And have you received training in those two areas of software?
Yes.
Is it fair to say that technology evolved relatively rapidly?
Correct.
And as a result of that, you receive ongoing trainings as through the course of your career as things change?
Yes.
With regard to today's testimony, you mentioned a couple of terms: digital forensics, DFL, Celebrite, Trax. What is it that you are focusing in on, and what is it that you're familiar with, but this wasn't your role in this case?
With respect to today?
Yes. So are you dealing with the stuff that's extracted from phones, or are you dealing with something else?
So specifically today, because we're all cross-trained in the digital forensics lab on a lot of different disciplines, today I'm specifically focusing on and speaking to the cell site analysis, which is call detail records.
What is a call detail record?
Call detail records is what all the cell companies maintain. Verizon, T-Mobile, all the major carriers, AT&T. They maintain records of every transaction that occurs on their cellular network. So every time you make a call, every time you send a text, stuff like that all gets documented and stored. And since there's cell towers all over the place, they also document which cell tower was being utilized at the time, which is where we can get investigative information.
And we won't dive too far into it just yet. Is it fair to say that you are not dealing with content of what may be on an actual cellular device?
Correct. No content, only the transactions and the connection information through the network.
And have you become aware that a separate detective in your unit has been assigned with dealing with the digital forensic downloads of the devices?
Yes.
And that would be whom?
That'd be Detective Campbell.
And he would deal with any content, correct?
Yes, anything on the phone is what he would deal with.
So you're talking about records stored with outside your agency. They're actually stored by very big companies, correct?
Correct.
What companies are those when it comes to this?
So the three major carriers in the United States are AT&T and T-Mobile, and then Verizon, but we're not using Verizon in this case.
Okay, so we're focusing in on AT&T and T-Mobile.
Correct.
In past experience, are you familiar with those types of records?
Yes.
And do the T-Mobile records look a little bit different from the AT&T records?
A little bit, yes.
Did you prepare an exhibit today in order to accurately explain your findings and testimony to the jury?
I did.
And Your Honor, this has been provided to defense counsel. I'd move for the admission of exhibit number 3.
No objection. Number 3, is that what you
Yes.
said? Okay, 3 will be made without objection.
Thank you. And sir, does exhibit 3, you created that, correct?
I did.
And is there an exact mirror image of that exhibit that's going back to the jury on your supercomputer there?
Yes.
Okay, so for ease of use, you're referencing the same exact files, you're just not plugging in the extra thumb drive.
That's correct.
If you could just pull up the content of the entirety of the disk.
Yep, and that would be, I have it saved on my desktop here, and I already have it open. This would be the content of the USB flash drive.
Okay, and I see 7 different files, correct?
Correct.
Is there any particular file that you would like to start with that kind of gives an overview of what we should be expecting from these other folders?
We can just start going through the folders.
Okay, let's start with folder number 1. Back out a second. Did you title that yourself?
Yes.
And what is that title for the record?
So to title them, I used the phone number and then the associated user of that phone number that I was provided by the investigating detectives. So for this one, the first folder is the phone number 702-353-3823, and it's Andrea Reyes CDRs.
And were you provided those by Detective Ozawa?
Yes.
If you could open that folder, please. There's 2 separate subfolders. One says mapped data and the other says provided files. Can I presume that the second folder is what you received to analyze?
Correct.
If you could open that. Subfolder CDR records, open that. And then there are several files. It looks like some Excel, some PDF.
Yes.
Go ahead and start with the COR affidavit certification file. Tell us, what are we looking at here?
So every time a detective sends a search warrant to the carriers, all of this information, we don't have to have the phone in hand. All of the information that I'm going to go over is stored at the actual carriers. So we send a search warrant to them asking for the information that we're looking for in our investigation. When they send it with us, they send us a certificate just saying that all the information is accurate and they're attesting to the legitimacy of it.
Okay. You can close that out. Tell us, what type of records did you receive with regard to Mr. Reyes' phone?
I received the call detail records that document all of the actual call transactions, and then I also received data sessions as well. Anytime that you're on YouTube or Google connecting to a cell tower, it logs those transactions too. So those are two separate documents. We also have the subscriber information document too.
Let's start with that. For the record, you're opening up Excel sub TIBCO?
Yes.
And what are we looking at here generally?
This is generally the subscriber information. This one they didn't fill out a lot of, but typically in this you'll see the subscriber name. Usually that's the person using the phone or a family member or something like that. This one is actually relatively blank compared to the other ones, so they just didn't populate a lot of this. But you can see that it went into effect 11/29 of 2022.
Okay, and what is the phone number? Where is it found on this document?
Right up here in the top left. This.
And that matches the folder name that you just provided?
Yes.
With regard to subscriber information, different phone companies require different things when you start an account. Is that correct?
Correct.
Some companies require a subscriber name, some require identification, others don't, correct?
Correct.
With regard to T-Mobile, is it shocking to you that there is a missing subscriber name, or is that something you've seen?
No, this is not uncommon.
Okay. And there are ways in which detectives can determine who is actually in possession of this number outside kind of your expert knowledge.
Correct.
Like they could call them on the number and see who answers.
Correct.
For example, okay. With regard to this particular document, is there anything else you need to convey to the jury?
No, and the document, it states the phone number in here so that we clearly know that these records are associated with this phone number.
And that's actually listed as the MSISD. What does that mean?
I'd have to pull it up, but it's like the Mobile Subscriber International Serial Number for the device. So anytime you see MSISDN, there's a lot of acronyms. This is always the phone number of the device.
Got it. You can close out. Now there's one separate document for the CDRs and then one for the data sessions. Tell us how those differ, what we're looking at.
So the CDRs is going to be the actual call detail records. Typically, it's always going to be the dialing and receiving calls. Anytime there's a call transaction with the cellular device and another device on the network or off the network, it's going to include text messages. So any kind of transaction that traverses the network that's related to communications on the device, whether it's calls, text, stuff like that.
What about the data sessions?
The data sessions are specifically for internet connectivity, and it'll say in the actual file how many bytes up and down are occurring with each transaction. So if you're browsing the web, if you're using YouTube, something like that is what would be in the data sessions. It doesn't tell us what the data is or what sites they were connecting to, but just they were using mobile data.
Okay, and so let's step back for a moment, and if you could explain to the jury how it is that a cell device actually interacts with a cell tower, generally.
Sure. So you can think of cell towers kind of as giant Wi-Fi routers. So it's using radio frequencies to connect to the cell phone in your pocket, for example. Whenever there's any kind of transaction that occurs or you send or receive a call, it's reaching out through radio frequencies to typically the nearest cell tower. It's establishing a connection wirelessly, and then it's using that cell network to transfer any data or any call that you may have through the network to where it's supposed to go and back and forth to your device. So you're always going to be connected to a cellular tower, and you'll notice if you go into rural areas, you lose connection, you're just so far away from cell towers or you're blocked, you're not going to be connected.
And you said generally you're going to be connected to the nearest cell tower. You mean nearest geographically?
Correct.
Okay. Are there some exceptions to that? What is a general?
Yeah, and I actually have some exhibits prepared if you would like to go into that. It can really help illustrate it a little better. So
While you pull that up, just a couple more follow-up questions.
Sure.
So the jury understands, if I have my phone and it's locked, right? Like I'm not doing any activity on it. Is my phone interacting with the nearest cell tower at this point in time?
Oftentimes, yes.
Why is that, or how does that?
So the cell towers are constantly trying to keep you connected to the network, and oftentimes the cell towers, especially if you're moving, you're getting transferred to other towers, they're constantly gauging connectivity to you. If you're in a crowded space, the network traffic can sometimes be a factor, so if that tower is becoming congested, then it'll move you to another best available connection. So there's always stuff going on in the background with cell towers to keep you connected and to give you the best service.
So I don't need to be actively on my phone sending a text to interact with a tower.
Correct.
And likewise, if my phone is quiet or in sleep mode in my pocket and I receive a text, that could be coming through, or has to be coming through a tower as well.
Correct.
Okay. And what did you want to illustrate here?
So I have a few photos just to kind of help make this concept a little more clear. So this is an example of the mapping that we do. We'll come back to these. So the data in the top left is not as relevant now as the actual imagery that you see on the screen. But what we have here is at the base of this triangle is going to be a cell tower. As you're driving around, I'm sure you've probably seen them. They're usually three-sided. They look like giant triangular poles. Each one of those three sides is an antenna. So most cell towers have a set of three antennas that face out in three different directions. So what we can glean from that investigatively when we request these call detail records is it will log the transactions, it will log the connections with the cell tower location that you're using. And then it will also tell us which of those 3 antennas on the tower your device was connected to. And from that, we can typically infer distance from the tower and the direction from the tower based on the density of other towers in the area. So let me try to break that down. But this just shows an example of our mapping software. The big red section is just showing you which direction the angle is facing. It doesn't mean anything's in that red area. It's just letting you know that the antenna is facing that way. So if you were at this house, for example, you'd be connecting to this antenna on the cell tower. And again, there's 3 antennas. So if you were off over this way, say in this neighborhood to the right, I don't know if you can see my mouse over there or not, but if you're over to the right, you're typically going to connect to the antenna that faces that direction. That's not always true 100% of the time. Sometimes there's geographic interferences and stuff like that that could cause another tower in the area to be the best signal, or it could even cause, this line is not necessarily a hard line, it can even cause you to connect to the other nearby antenna just because that one has a stronger, better signal. And we'll get into that a little bit more.
Yeah, in a moment. Just to kind of break it down, so if this particular cell tower, or this particular cell tower, has 3 antennas on it facing different directions.
Correct.
They cover 360 degrees.
That's correct.
But they're split in 3, so it's 120 each.
Yep, correct.
So this angle we're seeing, this particular antenna is 120 degrees of the total coverage area of this particular tower.
That's correct.
And you mentioned that sometimes there's a little bleed back, or I can't remember the term you used. I use bleed back.
Yeah.
Do you have something to illustrate that?
I do.
Go ahead.
Yep. So we'll get into that. And towards the end, I'll show you an example of multiple towers and how that would look. But if we zoom out a little bit, one of the questions is how can we determine then cell towers? There's documentation out there that shows they can travel in excess the signals of 20 plus miles in rural areas, and you can still get a connection. So in cities, we have multiple towers all throughout this area. Just in this image, there's multiple cell towers that you could be connecting to. So how do we know where that coverage starts and stops? There's a couple different ways. Typically, we can 100% map the direction from the tower that the antenna is facing. And then from there, and based on the cell tower density, we can start to infer a coverage area, especially in an urban environment, because typically you're not going to be connecting to a cell tower across the entire city. Most of the time, you are going to connect to the nearest tower, and in my experience mapping these, I'll see that you will connect to the nearest tower, and usually the antenna that's facing you. So another way to visualize that, though, by estimating the coverage area with other towers in the area, would be this. And this is we call it the horizontal plane. So if you're looking down on a cell tower and you slice the coverage, this is what it looks like. And it's just a good representation to kind of see the coverage area. In real life, shapes aren't perfect. Even the wedge that I showed you previously with the little pie slice here, it's not a perfect shape. And I mean, I'm sure everybody's experienced that as they've dropped calls driving behind buildings, stuff like that. So there's a lot of shadowing that occurs. This edge is not perfect. So just keep in mind, this is illustrative to give you a general idea of the direction someone is from the cell tower and where we can generally expect that coverage to be. So,
go ahead.
Okay, for example, and just to show the difference, this shows the direction from the tower. If we estimate coverage using, this is Trax mapping with their estimates and their algorithms and their understanding of the density of the towers in the area. This is the size of this particular tower that they came up with. Each tower is going to have a different size, again, based on how close other towers are to it. But the coverage area would be that entire red area. In theory, that's theoretical. And then this is just them overlaid, so you can really see the difference of the 2 mapping methods that I utilize.
Got it. You mentioned a couple terms, density and shadowing, and I want to just try to use my layman's terms and see if this explains it a little bit clearer. Fair to say that if you're in downtown Vegas, or say on the Strip, let's go with the Strip, there are a lot more cell towers down there than there are if you're out at Pabco Road on the way to Lake Mead.
Correct.
And so that might narrow in kind of your inference as to where the phone is, correct?
Absolutely.
And if you're out in that rural area, you may be hitting off a device, but you could be like, or a tower, and you could be like 15 to 20 miles away from that tower.
Correct.
In this particular area, we're talking about a residential neighborhood, correct?
Yes.
The Paladura neighborhood?
Yes.
Are there several cell towers within this area?
Yes.
And likewise, we're going to be talking a little bit later about a Porcupine Rim address. Is that a residential neighborhood?
Yes.
Are there several towers with that in that area?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not like there's one tower servicing this massive 20-mile thing. There's a bunch of cell towers in that.
Correct.
You were going to go on, I believe, to...
Yeah. And on that note, there's in cities and urban environments, we like it from an investigative perspective because just as he was saying, in the more dense urban environments, you're going to have a greater density of towers, which reduces the area that each tower services and covers.
They're going to do an hour and 20 minutes of cell data. Is this just going to show where she is, or are we going to get anything that happens with these cell phones? Because an hour and 20 minutes of all of this, it doesn't look like it has anything to do with the whatever happened. I could be persuaded to skip a lot of this because what is all of this? It's just nothing. skip it, speed through it, zoom.
As well.
Did you read that into the record? What are we looking at here?
This is the provided files and mapped data for the phone number 702-561-9242. These are the records used.
Earlier phone.
Files though. This is the table of contents I was talking about that access to this. But it tells you literally what everyone's into. They didn't label them very well. They have when we want to terminate the live tracker.
There's the subscriber name here.
Subscriber name.
And there's one with
So they're doing his and her. I'm sorry, this is way too boring and technical. Let's get to some good stuff maybe.
Are collected during.
Back then, I was actually transitioning into the role that I'm in now. So I was still partially involved with the street side of it at that time.
So you actually had more information about this case than just here's a file, track this phone.
Yes.
You knew a decent amount because you were out in the field. You were tracking down videos and evidence at this time of this incident.
Correct.
And you're given the phone numbers by the detective to track. You're not actually collecting all the devices. Let me clear that up. You're given a phone and they say track this through your software, correct?
Oh, I was just provided the phone number and the records that they had already obtained.
And those are provided to you by the detective?
Yes.
And if there's other phones that are collected during the investigation, you would know about that. You're just given the phones by the detective.
Correct.
So if there's phones that were left out or other devices, you don't know about them. You just were given what the detective wanted.
Correct.
Court's indulgence? No further questions, Your Honor.
And specifically, what's your position there?
Currently a detective with our Crimes Against Persons unit.
How long have you worked in that capacity?
I've been in this unit for just over 9 years.
What are some of your duties in your unit?
Our unit, Crimes Against Persons, responds to violent crimes, including like homicides, death investigations. We do any violent crimes such as shootings, stabbings. We respond to officer-involved shootings, as well as suspicious deaths, suicides, robberies, and a lot of cases like that.
And so when you're investigating those types of cases, what are some of your duties? Are you collecting evidence, something else?
Yes, depending on our role that we're assigned, depending on how many detectives are assisting with the investigation, you can either be the primary person with it, who's kind of overseeing everything. You can be doing interviews, collecting evidence, whether it be physical evidence on scene, tracking other evidence down, collecting video surveillance, writing search warrants, a wide range of job duties that are necessary for the investigation.
Okay. So then turning your attention to August 7th of 2023, were you assigned to assist in a murder investigation on that date?
Yes, I was.
And did you respond to the actual murder scene, which was at 2698 Paladura Drive?
Yes, I did.
Who was there when you arrived that day?
At that time when we arrived, as detectives were usually contacted after the fact, after the initial response. So when we arrive, our Henderson police officers have already arrived at the location, and typically they've kind of frozen the location or kind of taken control of the area to make sure that it's preserved as best as possible.
And is that what was happening at that Paladura Drive when you showed up?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Did you arrive in the morning hours of that day?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And who did you arrive with?
At that time, I don't remember exactly who in my squad was all on duty, but I believe Detective Ozawa and I were both working that morning. I know my sergeant, Sergeant Slattery, and then I believe the rest of our squad, as well as CSAs, were called to respond as well.
And can you walk the ladies and gentlemen of the jury through what you did at the scene when you arrived?
When we arrive on a scene, especially something of this magnitude, we will meet as a squad initially, and then we will get with whoever the on-scene ranking officer or like lieutenant or sergeant is for the patrol squad. They will typically have a brief that they can provide to us, give us as much detail or information as that they have, which would include involved parties, locations, if there's vehicles involved, any details that are pertinent that they've already learned once we arrive at the scene. And then after that has been conducted, we'll then get together as a squad and we'll determine our jobs and responsibilities. Once that's done, we could also end up doing like a walkthrough of the scene to then be able to kind of get a feel for what exactly we're looking at.
So talking about this specific scene on August 7th, 2023, you arrive, you get a briefing, like how you just mentioned?
Correct.
Okay, so some initial detail.
Oh, you can hear me too. That's annoying. Michaels is the one who took someone's head. And DJ Radis and their viewers, welcome, and thank you for the raid, DJ.
that the first responders provide to you. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And then after getting that information, what did you physically do?
On this scene, because the family was there and the family was, obviously they were dealing with the trauma of it and they're very cooperative with us, we were granted consent to initially walk in and kind of understand what we were there for, what we were responding to. We were able to see the initial scene, see the inside of the residence, and see the deceased person lying in the bed. So that we were able to kind of understand what exactly our investigation was going to entail.
So essentially you do a walkthrough of the murder scene, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. After going ahead and doing that walkthrough, did you assist with the execution of a search warrant?
Yes, I did.
And that search warrant was granted for the residence from a judge, correct?
Yes, it was.
And did you also, were you involved in a search warrant for a truck that was located at that Palo Duro address?
Yes.
Now, talking about the scene itself, you mentioned that you did a walkthrough and then eventually assisted in the execution of the search warrant, correct?
Yes.
So talking about the scene itself, if you remember, there was, and correct me if I'm wrong, a living room, makeshift bedroom, sort of past the kitchen in the residence. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And was the body found in that room?
Yes, it was.
Where was the body?
The body was lying on the bed that was in that room, kind of lying across the bed.
Okay. Were there blankets?
Yes, there were.
You also noticed blood at the scene?
Yes.
Was there anything unique or interesting about the blood that you saw at the scene?
Thank you,
the blood
DJ.
at the scene was primarily limited to the space of the bed itself. The way that the body was positioned on the bed, the torso and the neck were up towards the edge of the bed, and then the severed head was not there, so the neck was exposed. And then the blood itself there was some that had like come down from the body directly straight down, but there wasn't I should say hardly any like blood spatter or anything like throughout the room that you may initially think due to the fact that the head was missing.
And just to be clear, there was no blood spatter that you saw?
Correct.
Okay. Did you also find chemical bottles?
Yes.
And where were those found?
There was 2 bottles that were found in the hallway that would lead from this room that was kind of the makeshift bedroom, more like a living room style, but it had the bed in it. There was a hallway that led from that room to a bathroom, laundry room, as well as out to the garage. And those were found in that hallway.
Okay. And 2 bottles to be exact, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Cleaning agents?
Yes.
And you mentioned you've been with the unit, this specific unit, for 9 years. Was this your first and only decapitation investigation?
Yes.
So it's quite rare. I think you mentioned that previously, right?
Correct.
Ultimately, then, after you conduct this initial execution of the search warrant walkthrough, are you then assigned to canvass sort of the surrounding neighborhood of the residence for video surveillance?
Yes, I assisted with that.
And that essentially becomes your larger role in the investigation, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Then, after canvassing for video surveillance at that Palo Duro address and the neighboring community there, did you then assist?
I think it's to try and hide DNA evidence. That's what I'm thinking.
With the execution of a search warrant at a 5510 Porcupine Rim?
Yes, I did.
And after assisting with that at the 5510 Porcupine Rim, you then begin to review all of the videos that were ultimately collected from the canvases, correct?
Yes, and the canvas took several days, just in terms of the amount of video that we were able to collect, as well as just the number of houses in both neighborhoods. All of that video was not obtained immediately. It took several days and going back out several times to do the best we could to get as much video as possible.
And I'm showing you what's been previously admitted as States 11A. You're under permission to publish.
Permission granted.
And this would be the neighborhood of Palo Duro, correct?
Yes.
And all of these little, I guess, yellow thumbtacks there, are those the residences that were canvassed and the area that was canvassed for video surveillance?
I believe so.
Do you have a reason to dispute that that's the area?
I don't, other than just the number of, or the specific addresses and stuff. I'm not sure what they are, but I believe that those, I know that we canvassed those entire area.
Okay.
So
so you had members of the team with you canvassing as well. It wasn't just you.
Correct.
Is that why you're hesitating a bit?
Yes.
Okay. But you as the collective went ahead and canvassed this entire area with these thumbtacks here?
That is correct.
Okay. And then I also had mentioned permission to publish States 11.
Permission granted.
We have here another map showing the 5510 Porcupine Rim address. There was some canvassing, as we mentioned, in that location as well, correct?
That's correct.
So I want to start with the canvassing of the Palo Duro address, which was the neighborhood of the murder scene, correct?
Yes.
The actual neighborhood itself was searched, as well as nearby businesses, correct?
That's correct.
During your review of the surveillance footage that was obtained, were there certain videos that ultimately became important as part of the investigation?
Yes, there were.
And why did they become important?
Because we were able to identify specific vehicles that were involved with our associated people to this.
And specifically then, the vehicle located at Paladura was a truck with a trailer attached, is that right?
Correct. It was the 2020 white Chevy truck.
Belonging to Jonathan Willett?
That's correct.
And then also a vehicle of interest was a 2017 Nissan Armada belonging to a Devyn Michaels, correct?
That's correct.
And then at the Porcupine Rim address, there was also a white work van as well as a blue Honda vehicle that was in the driveway, both belonging to a Devyn Willett.
Correct.
And so knowing those vehicles, that's why when you're reviewing the surveillance video, you have those vehicles in mind to see if there's anything of evidentiary value, correct?
That's correct.
So ultimately, you're able to collect from various addresses according to that map, but specifically, you obtained a video from 2696 Paladura Drive, correct?
Yes.
And that would be the house next door to the murder scene at 2698, correct?
That's correct.
Then also 2697 Paladura Drive.
Correct.
2701 Paladura Drive.
Yes.
A Chevron at a 201 North Pecos Road.
That's correct.
2699 Fampon Court.
Yes.
As well as 6621 Gray Juniper Road, which would be ultimately near the Porcupine Rim address, correct?
That's correct.
You also collected video from a 6505 Taylor Creek Avenue, which also would be near the Porcupine Rim address, correct?
That was correct. Correct.
And Your Honor, at this time, I believe between the parties stipulating, the state would like to move for admission of the surveillance video marked exhibits 622 through 630.
We have no objection to their admission.
Okay, 622 to 630 will be admitted.
So I want to start with the house next door to the murder scene. That would be at 2696 Paladura Drive. Is that right?
Yes.
And there was
It's
a
YouTube,
video
no one knows.
that you had determined had some evidence or some information that was helpful to the case, correct?
Yes.
Permission to publish?
Permission granted.
Are you able to see that on the monitor in front of you, sir?
Yes.
Okay. So I have published states 625, which is that 2696 Paladura Drive. Do these appear to be the files that were obtained from that address?
Yes, they are.
Okay. I am going to play the file XPTM5940. And I'm going to pause it here. Before I start playing this, I just want to talk a little bit about this video. So it looks like there is no date and time stamp on this video. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. But you were ultimately the individual that collected this video, correct?
Yes.
And so when you collected the video from the homeowner or the individual that lived at the home, you were able to see on their phone what the date and time stamp was. Is that right?
That's correct.
So even though we don't have the date and time stamp on here, we have your testimony of what you saw on their phone, correct?
Correct.
And in this video, in the top right-hand corner, do we see a vehicle there?
Yes, we do.
And what type of vehicle is that?
That's a Nissan Armada.
Plane? I'm going to stop it at 35 or 36 seconds. What do we see there in the top right-hand corner, sort of past the Nissan Armada?
What you're seeing there is Jonathan's 2020 white Chevy 2500 truck. It's distinctive because of the two flags that are displayed in the back, and then he has the trailer connected to the back that he's towing as well.
Playing at 36 seconds. And ultimately in this video, we see that vehicle doing essentially a U-turn and now going past that 2698 Paladura Drive address, correct?
That's correct.
And we're able to also determine what time this occurred based off of other surveillance video, correct?
That's correct.
Specifically from 2697 Paladura Drive. The corresponding time would be 8:18 p.m.
Correct. 8:18, approximately 43 seconds. There's it passes the front of the house across the street.
And we will get to that in a second, just so I don't have to switch the discs out. Okay. There is another file of note, UNDM 8045. I'm going to go ahead and play that. And stopping it there. Again, what do we see in the top right-hand corner?
We see the same Nissan Armada.
Playing. And ultimately in that video, what is of evidentiary note?
In that video that you're able to see outside the screen, what apparently is probably a vehicle pulling up, because you're able to see the headlights of that vehicle that comes to a stop and is illuminating the Nissan Armada based on where it's parked. And from viewing that, it appears that that vehicle would have parked directly in front of 2698 Paladura.
Because this camera is next door 2696, correct?
Correct.
Now you see UF 1169 publishing. What did we see in that video?
In that video, it appears to be the same headlights that are on, just because the shadows are the same as they were in the previous video that we just watched. And then you're able to see what appears to be two figures that are moving just based on the shadows. And then because there's audio with this, you're also able to hear that those people are talking.
Were you able to determine the time frame of this video?
The determination on this time frame was based off of another camera when the truck returned to the neighborhood. So this would be at approximately 22:12.
And that would be PM?
Correct.
Now, just to go to the next video where you found something interesting. ALN M6052 publishing.
This isn't the best dinner entertainment. What are we
I want
seeing?
to pause it there at 7 seconds. What did we see in this video?
We saw the flash of the rear lights on the Nissan Armada, which is often consistent with someone unlocking a car.
Playing again.
You don't have to. Oh, someone's getting into the car.
And what did we see there?
The driver's side door of the vehicle was opened.
Playing at 18. And there?
Another flash of the lights.
Did we also hear something?
And we did hear something.
What did it appear to be?
Possibly a locking or unlocking of the doors.
And what do we hear there?
But there we hear the engine of the vehicle starting.
Okay. And did it appear that someone entered the vehicle prior to the start?
Correct. It appeared that somebody entered into the driver's seat.
And what did we see there?
There we saw the vehicle, the Nissan Armada, slowly pull forward. The brake lights seemed to be activated.
Oh, interesting.
Which made it appear that the vehicle was just pulling forward and was going to stop just out of the view of the camera.
Okay. And what home was it going in front of?
By the direction that it was going, since it was pulling straight like that, it would be directly in front of 2698 Paladura, and it would be nose to nose with the 2020 Chevy truck that had already parked along the very front of the house.
And that was the home of the murder, correct?
That is correct.
And the time frame for that, through your investigation, you were able to look at different information, in this case to determine time frames, correct?
Correct.
And we know that the Nissan had been activated prior to 11 p.m. Is that right?
The video we just watched,
yes.
The timestamp on that one was actually 23:05:46 seconds. And that was from the resident who actually had the video. That was from her cellular device.
So that would be
timestamp on it.
11:05 p.m. for us laymen?
Correct.
Must be horrible.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now going to FE 4489FC file, publishing. Thank you. I'm gonna pause it there. What do we see there?
There we saw lights flashing from when you're looking at the
It's,
screen from the
Superior
right out of the
Meatballs.
screen, but it illuminated the screen, and they're consistent with what we had seen earlier with somebody activating the car, like unlocking or locking a car.
Playing. And what did we see in that video?
In that video, you see, after hearing the engine start of a vehicle, you then see a vehicle back into view, and it appears to be the same Nissan Armada that we'd seen earlier.
Okay. And based on you looking at the resident's cellular phone, did that appear to have occurred at 2:04 in the morning?
Correct.
And just to orient us, publishing states 9. Are you able to use that mouse and hover over the address of that surveillance video we just watched?
Yes. So the pointer of the mouse is over 2696, which is where that surveillance was from.
Okay, so it would be right next door to the flag or the pin there, which would be the murder, the house of the murder, correct?
Correct.
Was a 2697 Paladura, states 9 publishing.
On the corner, right here at the corner of Paladura and Caroline Laurel Street.
Publishing states 626, excuse me. We see a video file there, correct, sir?
Yes.
Okay. And here we're focusing sort of at the top center of the screen, right?
That's correct.
And ultimately what we see in this video is a vehicle do a U-turn at the intersection of Paladura Drive and Carolina Laurel Street, correct?
That's correct.
And we have a date listed there as August 6, 2023?
Yes.
And what time?
0819, no, it had gone up to 17, but started at 081838.
Next, turning to 2701 Paladura Drive. Can you please orient us at states 9?
I believe it's going to be this house right here. So it's going to be, 2701 is going to be across the street and just like one house to the west. So not directly across the street from the residence, from our residence where the homicide occurred.
Sort of catty corner?
Correct.
Publishing 2701. Specifically 627.
Come on.
Now, was there something unique about this particular camera? Was it motion activated? Was it always on? Something else?
Now, this camera was motion activated. It was motion activated by what appeared to be by the residents themselves moving around in their driveway or in front of their residence.
There is no seltzer water in frikadella. Frikadella is a mixture of pork and veal, mincemeat, onions, all spices. What is it called? All hand spices or something. Salt, pepper, a couple of eggs, and a little bit of flour to put it together, and then you fry them in butter. That's how you make frikadella. No, all of these hippies and their stupid recipes. Allspice, yes.
To have some long file names here, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm not going to play every single video.
If you put oats in it, it's poor man's frikadella. But some will stretch the meat by putting oats in them. My mom had a period where she put carrots in there. Women are weird.
But the members of the jury will have time to review those if they'd like to. But there were particular videos that showed interesting things. Is that right?
Yes.
And this is specifically the file 2AA341707BE3055BCD0241 C3B0F77BD0. Lots of letters and numbers, correct?
Yes.
All right, so in the top right-hand corner of this file, what do we
I
see
hope
there?
they can just run it as one
Besides
video
the
instead
timestamp,
of her
also
click,
see
click,
across
click,
the street
click.
to the residence 2698 Paladura, where the murder had occurred.
Okay. And what date do we see there?
It's 2023-0806, so August 6th.
And what time?
1826:58.
And can you do the math for me? What time that
That'd
would
be
be?
6:26, almost 6:27.
I haven't had a good frikadelle since my mom died. So if anyone can make a frikadelle like my mom used to do it, I will marry again.
Night, or in the afternoon, evening.
6:27 in the evening?
Correct.
Playing. And specifically with the 2698 address, what did we see the individual doing that was in the screen?
It appeared that there was a male that was loading items or arranging items in the trailer that was parked in the driveway.
Turning to the file ending in 105DD, starting with FC4.
Show it on screen.
I'm going to pause it there. Do we see a date and timestamp? And can you please read it?
Yes, we do. It's 2023-0806, and then the timestamp is 21/11/47, which would be 9/11/47 p.m.
And it,
Which exhibit? I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Which exhibit is this one?
this is the same exhibit. 627 file starts with FC4, ends with 105DD.
05DD?
Correct.
Thank you very much.
No problem. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this video. And we're specifically looking of evidentiary value at the top right-hand corner, correct?
That's correct.
And why is that? That's the home of where the murder took place, correct?
It is the home of where the murder occurred. The garage door is closed, and the truck that had been backed up with the trailer in the driveway is no longer there.
Okay. Now turning to file starting with FDD, ending in 79B5.
I think this is the deceased guy.
Pausing there. What do we see there as the date and time?
The date and time can be 2023-0807 for the date, and the time is going to be
Holly Mac, if you put cinnamon anywhere near frikadella, I will restart the war about Hans Island that we settled a couple of years ago. Don't you do that. And nutmeg, you can take it and chuck it.
080954. So 8:09 in the morning.
Thank you. That one's a little bit easier. What do we see in the top right-hand corner?
So we're able to see in the top right-hand corner is Jonathan's truck is now parked on the roadway in front of the residence with the trailer still attached, and it's parked facing essentially the opposite direction of traffic. You're also able to see that the garage door is partially open, but the significance that I saw from this video is the fact that the truck is parked consistent with what we had seen in the video from the residence directly next door, the 2696 house, where we had seen the headlights that had arrived during the night and then the two shadows. So that would kind of corroborate the fact that he had parked his truck in that manner that night when they had arrived, and that's how we also found it when we arrived.
So essentially the Nissan Armada and that truck would have been nose to nose at that previous video that we saw.
Correct.
During the night.
Correct.
and it's still in that same position in the morning.
Yes.
Don't you get them started. Americans and Canadians will do stuff like that.
Okay. Did you also canvass for video at a Chevron?
Yes.
And you obtained video from that location at
Doesn't
201
taste
North
like
Pecos
dinner.
Road, is that right?
Yes.
Why was that important?
I learned that they had stopped at that Chevron after, actually, I should say, as they were returning from 5510 Porcupine Rim, they had stopped at that Chevron prior to getting back to the Paladera house.
Publishing 622. There were 2 gas stations that we obtained surveillance video from, correct?
The gas station that I was aware of that we collect video was the 201 North Pecos Road, and that was the Chevron Terrible Herbst.
Publishing 623. Opening the file, camera 7. And I'm just going to pause immediately. In the bottom left-hand corner, do we see a date and time there? And if we do, please read it into the record.
The date is 08/06/2023, and the time is 22:04:01, which would be 10:04 at night.
Playing. And pausing it there at 20.
This is Canton level of video. I thought, is this her background or something? No, it's a video camera.
2204, what did we see come into the screen?
We see the white 2020 Chevy truck towing the trailer.
And that would be Jonathan Willette's truck and trailer, correct?
That's correct.
Playing. And do we see anything else of evidentiary value in this camera angle?
No.
Now you obtained another camera angle, correct?
Correct.
Publishing camera 9.
Yep.
Pausing there. Can you please read the date and timestamp into the record there?
Its date is 08/06/2023, and the time on it is 22:04:02, 10:04 at night.
And can you describe the angle of this camera?
This camera is looking what would be east, so it's looking into the parking lot area and the gas pump area of the Chevron Terribles gas station. It's on the south side of the building.
Playing. Pausing there at 22:04 and 41 seconds. What do we see there?
We see the white Chevy truck with the trailer belonging to Jonathan.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Belonging to Jonathan.
And it's sort of parked in between these 2 sets of palm trees.
Correct. It will stop and park right between those.
And the actual store belonging to the Chevron, would that be to the left of the screen?
Yes.
Playing.
Sorry, I've been looking away from Rumble. Slidey Pie and Eris, they didn't find the head. They didn't find the tool that removed the head. They have no idea when the head was removed, closer than somewhere between 10 and 2. And as they stated, there was surprisingly little blood at the crime scene. So that's what we have heard in the first 3 days.
And we see someone getting out of the passenger side of the vehicle, correct?
That's correct.
As well as the driver's side?
Yes.
Passenger appears to be female.
Correct.
Driver appears to be male.
That's correct.
and now they are walking towards the actual Chevron store. Is that right?
Yes.
This could be anything. This could be Brandon's last colonoscopy. This could be whatever Melissa's dog was chewing in 5 minutes ago, or it could be something from 1,000 feet under the sea. I hate it when they put this up there and say, "Oh, look at all of this." Thank you for the update, Mary. That's weird.
And they are still appear to be out of frame, correct?
That's correct.
Stamp on the video, we now see that female and male walking back towards Jonathan's vehicle, correct?
Yes, we do.
And
Where?
that's about 5-ish minutes since they left to outside of the screen, correct?
Approximately, yes.
Where? It is. Oh, yeah, we can clearly see it's a male
Male
and a
gets in
female.
driver's side,
Yes.
How can you tell?
female gets in passenger side.
Correct.
You're just guessing. This is just dumb now.
Forward, and it's going to proceed over to Windmill Parkway. It's going to turn right, which would be westbound on Windmill Parkway, which is going back towards the Paladura neighborhood.
Yes, it is. And funny, it always happens in Massachusetts.
To the south.
So it would essentially, and you received a video surveillance from that, correct?
Yes.
Stamp into the record at the beginning of the video.
Yes.
We can see
date
on
is
this one.
08/06/2023, and the timestamp is 20:13:21 or 8:13 at night.
And can you orient us on this video which street is which?
Yes. So directly in front of this, where the cul-de-sac ends, this is actually Fan Palm Court, and it's looking out at Charter Oak Street, which is a street that leads from in and out of the neighborhood, but from Paladura over to Windmill.
Fine. Minnesota Road.
Looks like a pretty cool place. Oh, the dad is playing with an RC car. The kid almost hit it with a bike. I thought, what the hell? Yeah, I'm gonna. This is over in 40 minutes. Then
Pause
I'm
there.
going off.
At 2019-45, what do we see towards the top of the screen?
Towards the top of the screen on Charter Oaks, you're able to see Jonathan's 2020 white Chevy truck towing the trailer, and they're proceeding southbound on Charter Oaks towards Windmill.
And that would be the exit or the entrance of the Paladura neighborhood.
Correct.
Publishing the next file ending in 4.
Why did you mute? Stupid thing.
Beginning of the video, date and timestamp. Can you read that into the record, please?
Date 08/06/2023 with a timestamp of 22:04:38, which is 10:04 at night.
Neither have I. Marissa goes there all the time, but that's because she has a crippling gambling addiction. So she has to
Play
go
the video
there.
starting at 22:11 and 16 seconds.
This should be when they're coming home from the store. Because this is 3 minutes after the last video we saw.
Stopping at 22:12 and 7 seconds. What do we see there at the top of the screen?
We now see Jonathan's Chevy truck with the trailer. However, this time he's now driving northbound, and this coincides with coming from the Chevron, coming up Windmill, turning onto Charter Oaks. And this will be the direction going back to his house as he's going towards Palo Duro.
So he's now entering the neighborhood, correct?
Correct.
Yes, that's why Marissa goes once every 3 months. Sue must be happy today that we're
Publishing
attacking
file ending in 128.
Marissa.
Can you please read that date and timestamp into the record?
Yes, date's going to be 08/07/2023, and the timestamp is 02/01/26, so 2:01 in the morning.
So several hours later, but same camera view, correct?
That's correct.
Now into the early morning hours of August 7th on approximately 2:01 in the morning.
Correct.
Playing at 2:04, 3 seconds.
You don't mean that. But yes, if you want a little, or you need a little extra moisture in it, and you don't want to use another egg, give it some milk. That's fine. That's don't put seltzer water in there.
Stopping there at 2:04 and 36 seconds. What did we see there?
You see a vehicle that's on Charter Oaks, appears to be the Nissan Armada, and it's traveling southbound.
How the hell can you see that?
Street and address and going towards Windmill.
Towards the exit of the community, correct?
Correct.
Did you say correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Well, she had a lot of problems that made sure she couldn't have smacks, and he wasn't into foreplay, so he probably didn't moisten her enough. No, Daria was her husband. Well, maybe that's why she switched back to the daddy. Because
Now
he liked
at
foreplay.
2:17, Charter Oaks, ultimately we see an activation as well, correct?
That's correct.
And what does that activation show us at 2:04 in the morning?
It shows a vehicle that's passing by, turning from Palo Duro onto Charter Oaks. The house right here is able to, it gets an activation, and it appears to be the Nissan Armada as it's leaving Palo Duro and turning onto Charter Oaks.
And did you also canvas for video at 2699 Basal?
No, you can clearly see it was a dark shape moving between some lighter shades. It's the same. Oh, you can see a man walking to the car. No, I could see some light moving. Fun fact: prostitution is not legal in Vegas. There are a few licensed brothels in Nevada. Why would Marissa know stuff like that?
Paracourt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you orient us where that is?
Yes.
Marissa.
So Basal Court is the street to the north of Palo Duro. Here's Palo Duro, and it's a street right here that also ends in a cul-de-sac at the end. 2699 was actually directly behind the house where the murder occurred.
And were you able to locate any surveillance video from that?
Yes, the resident there was able to provide activations from their surveillance system.
What was that, sir?
Yes, the resident there was able to provide activations from their surveillance system that they had.
Anything of evidentiary note?
Evidentiary note? No, there was activity. Some of the residents coming and going, walking their dog, and a little bit of activity on the street, but nothing that was suspicious in nature.
And then how about 2706 Basal Pear, that same street?
Yes.
And Can you orient us, please?
Yes, that would actually be up here at the very end of the cul-de-sac. So they border, their sidewall actually bordered with Charter Oaks.
Anything of evidentiary value from that?
No, only thing that they did provide video. The only thing that we did see on that was actually the residents themselves just at their home.
So same as the other there?
Correct.
Nothing suspicious? No one jumping walls, anything of that nature?
That is correct.
No odd vehicles coming through?
No.
Now, did you also canvass the African Violet Street?
Yes, it was canvassed.
Can you please orient us on that?
Okay, so African Violet is going to be the roadway up here. Has a cul-de-sac down at the east end of it, and then when you come to the west, it actually comes up to Charter Oak Street.
Anything of evidentiary value from that?
No, there was not. Video was provided, but there was nothing suspicious, just homeowners and the vehicles that belong there.
Now, nothing suspicious in that surveillance either, correct?
That's correct.
And you knew the important vehicles of this case, the Nissan Armada, the Honda, as well as the work van, and then Jonathan's truck, right?
That's correct. But also, in addition, while viewing all this video surveillance, when I say nothing suspicious was observed, looking for anybody that might possibly been, essentially sneaking in the neighborhood or looking like they're not sure if they're supposed to be there, as well as vehicles that are driving erratically that may like trying to be fleeing a scene or not familiar with the neighborhood that they're in.
And so after reviewing these videos related to the murder scene itself, you're able to eliminate anyone from jumping the wall or anything of that nature in the videos, correct?
That's correct.
Now I want to flip back to that chevron. There was video surveillance taken from inside that chevron, correct?
That's correct.
And at this time, I believe between stipulation of the parties, the state would move to admit 623A, 623B, and 623C, showing the stills from that surveillance video.
Yes, we had no objection to this. However, the entire video has been marked and admitted.
The entire video has been admitted?
Yes, yes.
The video from inside the store? We've only seen the video outside the store.
Court's indulgence. But these are just stills from the video. Okay. B and 6 showing you see, Your Honor. Permission to publish. Showing you 623A. Does this appear to be a still from the surveillance video obtained from the chevron?
Yes.
And what do we see in this video?
This video is showing the doorway, the entrance to the actual convenience store itself. And here you're able to see Devyn and Jonathan entering the store.
And is there, what is Devyn wearing in this photo?
Can someone, all your police official look stunning with nice hair, makeup, clothes. Can someone buy a new laptop that doesn't sound like it's about to go into space with Alexis? Jeepers, this DVD drive is working hard.
And this, she has a white tank top, blue shorts, and then dark, appears to be Nike athletic shoes.
And is there something on her shoulder?
Yes.
What is that?
Like a backpack style purse bag.
So then showing you 623B, is that a close-up of that backpack style purse?
Yes, it is.
And again, the blue shorts and white tank top, correct?
That's correct.
623C, just another angle of them leaving the store, correct?
Yes.
During the investigation, you had also learned that the Devyn Michaels had gone to a CVS store. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And so based on that, you obtained video surveillance from that location?
Yes, it was obtained.
Publishing 624. Specifically 8320 Cheyenne Ave, correct?
Yes.
I'm going to play.
Whenever Brandon is talking about how he needed a new laptop, I think it's kind of like this. Publish, pew, click, pew, click, nothing happens.
Drive through outside. And do we see a date and time stamp there? And if so, please read it into the record.
The date 08/07/2023. Timestamp is 2:28:02 a.m.
And that's when the vehicle is pulling into the drive-through. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And this is the drive-through to the pharmacy.
Yes, it is.
And what type of vehicle is that?
This is a Nissan Armada.
And this is the Nissan Armada belonging to Miss Michaels, correct?
Yes, it is.
Playing. Do we see? What do we see inside the vehicle?
You see female in a white tank top in the driver's seat, and she's the only subject or person that you can see inside the vehicle.
So no other individual visible inside this vehicle, correct?
That's correct.
Yes, because she did it during the interview, so I think they will hear it.
Passing things back and forth, right?
That's correct.
And the vehicle is now leaving that drive-through at approximately 2:30 in the morning on August 7th, correct?
Yes.
Now, you had mentioned that you also canvassed for video.
Imagine if she had done the, hello, can I get my prescription? With his head. That could be fun.
At and around the 5510 Porcupine Rim address, correct?
Yes, it was canvassed.
And that address had evidentiary value because that is the home of Miss Michaels, correct?
That's correct.
And what was the purpose of canvassing around that neighborhood?
To see when her car would come and go, as well as any other vehicles associated to that address, so that we just see the activity that occurred and match it up also with the other video that we'd already collected and reviewed.
Publishing. 611. Do you recognize this map?
Yes, this is the neighborhood with the Porcupine Rim address.
And the Porcupine Rim address, the 5510, would be that red flag there, correct?
That's correct.
And did you collect or I guess, did you canvass a 5530 Porcupine Rim address?
Yes.
Can you please orient us where that is?
Believe from this map it's going to be this house right here. So it's right at it's where the Gray Juniper turn happens to turn onto Porcupine Rim.
Now, how many entrances and exits does this particular neighborhood have?
This neighborhood only has one entrance and exit, and that's onto Ann Road.
Can you please use the mouse
Yes.
to go over to that?
So it's right here.
And there's no other entrance, no other exit for vehicles, correct?
For vehicles, that's correct.
So 5530, you did meet with the homeowners there. They had some activations of note.
Yes.
And what were they?
They had two specific activations of note, one of which occurred at roughly 21:01 hours or 9:01 p.m., where the Jonathan's truck and trailer arrived in the neighborhood and turned in front of that street, in front of that house to travel down the street towards the 5510 address. And then the second activation of note was at roughly 02:42 hours on the morning of the 7th, and that is when the Nissan Armada arrives in the neighborhood and turns from the Gray Juniper address, or excuse me, street onto the Porcupine Rim Street and proceeds towards 5510.
Do you see the white work van between those operative hours coming and going from
No.
that address?
No, I don't.
How about that blue Honda belonging to Devier?
No.
Just Jonathan's vehicle and Devyn's, correct?
During those hours, that's correct.
Which time span did you look for videos from that address?
From that address, the time span was, I believe it was 8 o'clock at night on the 6th until 6 in the morning on the 7th.
And in that time frame, you only see, of note, the Nissan Armada, as well as Devyn's Nissan Armada, as well as Jonathan's truck and trailer, excuse me.
That's correct.
No white work van, no blue Honda.
No.
Did you then obtain video surveillance from the home of 6621 Gray Juniper?
It was obtained, yes.
Well, if she said in an interview, I took something and hit him in the back of the head, and he died, it should be allowed to be put in there. She recanted that confession the very moment she recanted the plea deal. Did she? Because it's still in the police interview. And that's not directly linked to the plea deal.
Can you please orient us where that is?
I believe it's going to be the house right here. So it's on Gray Juniper, and it faces north, and it's able to view the access from Ann Road into the neighborhood.
So it's able to view the only entrance and exit from that neighborhood, correct?
That's correct. That's correct.
And just moving back to 5530 Porcupine Rim for the record. Playing file 2101. And I believe bottom right-hand corner, we have a date and timestamp there. Is that right?
Yes.
And what does that read?
08/06/2023 for the date, and 2101, I believe 36 is the seconds on it. So 9:01 at night.
Okay. And what did we see in this video?
You were able to see Jonathan's truck and trailer as it turned from the Gray Juniper onto Porcupine Rim.
So essentially coming from the entrance exit street, essentially,
Yes.
And turning the corner onto Porcupine Rim.
That's correct.
Playing 0242 file. Can you tell us the date and timestamp there?
Date's going to be 08/07/2023 with a time of 02:42:50, so 2:42 in the morning.
And playing from the beginning, what do we see there?
And there you see the Nissan Armada traveling from the entrance of down Gray Juniper and then turning onto Porcupine Rim and going towards the 5510 address.
And that would be Devyn's Nissan Armada, correct?
That's correct.
So now going back to that 6621 Gray Juniper. Publishing for the record 629. Now, this video is slow to real time, is that right?
That's correct.
How many, is it about 3 minutes slow?
It's 3 minutes slow. So the timestamp on the video itself is 3 minutes behind actual time.
Okay. Playing the first file, 512. We have a date and time stamp here.
Yes, the date's going to be 08/06/2023 with a time of 08/05/19 p.m.
Do we see Jonathan's truck enter the neighborhood here?
So far in this, he entered the neighborhood at roughly 9 o'clock at night. I apologize. On this one, it'll actually be, because of the 3 minutes slow, it will be at 8:57 on this, based on the timestamp on this video.
And that's because it's 3 minutes slow, correct?
That's correct.
Is that
Playing
bottom
8:56,
one
45 seconds.
a TB? What's a TB? I think it's a Nissan or something, if it's the same driveway. All of them. All of them.
What do we see?
We see Jonathan's white Chevy truck with the trailer entering off of Ann Road into the neighborhood, and it proceeds to turn down Great Juniper towards Porcupine Rim.
Playing 1002.
Oh, the terabyte. Oh, no, it's in kilobytes.
Ultimately, we see Jonathan's vehicle leaving, correct?
That's correct.
Do you recall about what time?
On this one with the timestamp, it'll be at 09:29 on this time, because he actually exits at 09:32.
09:29.
Playing at 0928. And what do we see there?
Once again, we see Jonathan's truck towing the trailer, and he's exiting the neighborhood, stopping at the stop sign at Ann Road.
We haven't seen anything. The only thing we've seen is them at the funny stop and the CBS. That's all we've seen.
And then after waiting for traffic, he does proceed turning left on Ann Road.
Yeah.
And goes out of screen, correct?
Correct.
Because she was apparently
Playing
leaving him to go
3413.
home with the dad.
What's the date? So it's on that Nissan Armada at 2:39, 28 seconds. Is that Nissan Armada?
Yes, it is. Just turned in off of Ann Road and is proceeding down Great Juniper towards Porcupine Rim.
No, it's just a whole lot of
538.
nothing. And she leaves again at 7 in the morning to do a school run.
They're at 7:31, 54 seconds. What did we see there?
There we see the white work truck belonging to Behead.
What is it doing here?
It's exiting the neighborhood. It's currently at the stop sign waiting to turn on Ann Road.
I believe the Armada was also Derria's. No, it's hers. He had another Nissan. But he's also driving the white truck. And the white truck with the trailer is Jonathan's. I don't know.
And then it proceeds to turn left on Ann Road and out of view.
Okay. At 5829, playing that file. Specifically at, date and time stamp again.
Date on this one, 08/07/2023, and time is 07:58, 40 hours, a.m.
And in this, we will see the Devyn's Nissan Armada leaving at about 8 a.m., correct?
Correct.
And is that there?
Yes. Her vehicle pulled up to the stop sign and turned left onto Ann Road.
Then at 8:02:50, I believe we see her Nissan Armada return, correct?
Yes, we do.
So about 2 minutes later, it's coming back into the neighborhood, correct?
Approximately, yes.
(8:02:48).
Correct. You see it turn from Ann Road into the neighborhood, turns left on Great Juniper and proceeding towards Porcupine Road.
And on this date, on August 7th of 2023, do we see trash cans in the road there?
Yes, we do.
So it appears to be trash day, is that right?
Yes.
Then fast forwarding, same video to about 8:08. What do we see there?
We see Devyn's Nissan Armada just turn from Great Juniper.
It was her
stop
car,
sign,
Devyn.
about to turn onto Ann Road.
Devyn.
And so a few minutes after it had just come into the neighborhood, it's going back out, correct?
Correct.
On whatever day today is, we do chess because if you want to serve her the Alaskan chili dog, make 100 films in the fog. Your pecs better be effing swole. Brandon, today is Wednesday, and as you know, if you want to give her a Malaysian hot pocket, you have to have your bag in order. So I did bag today. You are a day off. Tomorrow will be pick day and Alaskan chili dog day. No one go on Urban Dictionary and find out what an Alaskan chili dog is. But Brandon is 1 day off because today is a Malaysian hot pocket. It's the same as an Alabama hot pocket, just with a height impaired person. Yes, they did a puppet show with the head. It was really weird. I've never seen anything that insane before. You should have watched it. I think they will remove it from the internet, but they had different voices and everything. So you missed a little bit during your nap. And then we watched a lot of data that was boring.
Now, did you also canvass a 6505 Taylor Creek?
Yes, that was also, video was obtained from there as well.
And that would be related to Porcupine Rim, right?
Correct.
Okay. Can you orient us on there?
Yes. So the house that you're talking about is this corner house right here. Again, where you can have a kind of line of sight to 5510 Porcupine Rim.
And I don't know that I moved to admit this, Your Honor. The state is now moving to admit State 660. Publishing.
Isn't the Alaskan chili dog the same as the Alaskan pipeline? Oh, it's a different one you have.
Playing.
I'm going to remove that one, Brandon. Just for the small children.
Is there something? Oh, sorry. Date and timestamp at the bottom right. Could you read that into the record, please?
Yes, the date would be 08/07/2023, and the timestamp is 06/2056 in the morning.
Is there something of evidentiary value?
Everyone, stop complaining that you're bored. We are done in 10 minutes. Come on now. Stick it with me. Like I talked about on Saturday when you need to go and give Ronkel some energy. Keep me working. We lost almost half our viewers on this boring day.
Have you seen this video?
Yeah, so from this video, you're able to see over to 5510 Porcupine Rim. Specifically, you're able to see parked in the street is Devyn's work truck. Then it's parked corner, you're able to see the stop sign and the street sign. And so it kind of gives us an orientation on where his truck is parked. Then you can also see behind his truck, you can see the Nissan Armada in the driveway.
Can you please, I don't know if you're able to hover with the mouse?
Well, Sue got to read it, so...
So the white van right here is the work van.
Playing. Again, trash day?
Yes.
Playing 2506.
As far as I was told, it was, but then the defense wanted the case to go on. I think Kirk came in and said that there had been some funny discovery in that case, but I haven't seen anything on the thread.
Date and timestamp.
Dated 08/07/2023. Timestamp is 06/21/27 in the morning.
Is this the same?
It's essentially immediately after.
Okay.
It's just a continuation of the one we watched before, essentially. That's correct. It is.
Date and timestamp on this video, but is this another situation where you were able to determine the date and timestamp when looking at the video on the homeowner's device?
It's also in.
Why do they think she killed him? Because she said she killed him in a police interview. The beheading, we don't know.
Embedded in the name of the video itself. So with the name of the video being 2023-0806, that notates the date of the actual video, and 090738 notates the time. So it'd be 090738, 38 p.m.
Okay, and what you're referring to is sort of in that top left-hand corner?
That's correct.
Okay, so 9:07 p.m. On August 6, 2023.
Correct.
Plane?
Oh, that's the truck.
That's sort of quick there.
Yes, it is.
So what do we ultimately see in this video?
Also, you're able to see that Jonathan's work truck has backed into, Jonathan's truck, the Chevy, has backed into the driveway 5510 with the trailer attached. And then it also shows Devier's work truck parked in the street, and the work truck essentially appears to be in the same location that it's observed in the morning videos.
So it doesn't appear to have moved
That's
from
correct.
its location in the morning versus this evening video, correct?
That's correct.
Now, as part of the overall investigation in this case, showing states 11, there's a Rebecca Road here, which would be on...
It wasn't at this was a house on the other side. At least they have cameras in this case, but it shows nothing.
On the backside of that 5510 Porcupine Rim residence, correct?
Yes, Kirk says, Teresa, yes, his attorneys are outraged because 2 weeks ago it was changed also. Apparently, the judge that issued the initial order is conflicted with a member of her family in the government. Explains a lot. Yes.
Correct.
And that street was canvassed for video, correct?
Yes, it was.
And no videos were obtained, nothing of evidentiary value, nothing suspicious.
Well, we know she didn't park it there, right? Those things are impossible to back up with trailers. It's called women, Marissa. I know you are a little behind the times. It's not impossible for women to back. They can do it. Some of them can do it with trailers as well. On this channel, we don't call women those things. We call them women. So do better. Get on boat. Women power.
Anything like that, correct?
That's correct. I was informed that there were no cameras that were observed on those houses. Those houses are also more, essentially, if you want to call them custom lots, so they're larger lots, so there's less homes as well, so less opportunity for there to be cameras.
So
I'm pretty sure that she has backed into more things than you have. I'm just saying she knows how to back it up.
So at no point during the night of August 6, 2023, do we see Devier's vehicles plural, seen coming or going from the residence, correct?
That's correct.
And we only see his work van ultimately leave at 7:30 in the morning, correct?
That's correct. It's in the morning.
Thank you for correcting me. And just to say 11, Hammer Home, there is only one entrance and one exit, correct, to this Porcupine Rim neighborhood?
Correct. So in order to enter or exit, you have to turn from Ann Road on this little connector street, which then puts you directly onto Gray Juniper.
And then ultimately Porcupine Rim, correct?
Correct. And then if you drive east.
The defendant is a former muscle girl Cornstar. And just to make the full you have missed so much, Brandon. You would have died the first day. I think you would actually, that could have been the thing that finally took you off the planet. She's a former Cornstar. She did Muscle Mommy Corn. She meets Jonathan, who she moves in with in Las Vegas. They get two girls. He had a son. She then starts banging the stepson. At one point, she asked him, "Did you like that?" "Yeah, but I would like something else to eat tonight." And she says, "Arby's." "Yeah, if you call your coochie that." You have missed so many. It's like Sue is just serving fastball right down the middle over the plate, and you have just been out of here. This case would have been the perfect Brandon case. I'm just saying, the perfect Brandon case. I heard she dated Barry Wood. No, she dated Robert Baker, who is also a Cornstar, who also unalived, I think, a wife or a girlfriend. No, she dated Robert Barker. Yes, I'm trying to get away from all my misogynist roots, so I'm trying to educate my misogynist mods. The only non-misogynist mods I have at this point is Brandon. So we will do some HR seminar later today where we will teach all of the rest of the mods how to respect women.
On Great Juniper, this curve right here, the road turns into Porcupine Rim.
And so this 6621 Gray Juniper Ave, this is a full-time video camera. It's not an activation camera, right?
Kirks, no problem. Everyone should go watch Aiden. He started so late I didn't get it, but I'll go check it out because we're done here in 5 minutes. So, and you always welcome to recommend people watching Aiden because he's good. He's good people. Yeah, Brandon. Yesterday we talked horsey sauce. We had an entire. This is what happened when Brandon takes a day off. Then we do the. Because she also wrote in her diary that she was just a cum dumpster. So I thought this is an Arby's. There was the, oh my, the special sauce. And you call it what? Brandon, no more days off. I'm going to call your mom and say you can't take these personal days anymore.
Okay, correct.
Ask it, Mr. Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
But this one, I'm going to take our 19 steps and we'll do cross-examination. Please remember tomorrow's a holiday, so the court is closed tomorrow. So we will not be in.
Harry, you miss a lot of good stuff. I have quite an insane chat. But that was day 4 in the corn killer case where, well, oh, Brandon, you also missed the reason why they had to get married. It was so he could babysit his sisters. That's why they had to get married, and then they started banging. The rest of us get married to stop banging, but apparently in Vegas it's different. Arby's, we have the spoiled fish. Oh, we should have had that one. When you say muscular porn, I think you're thinking of Devyn Michaels, a muscle woman Cornstar. No, because I was Googling this for some pictures of her for my thumbnail. And I thought, should I go a little risque? And I shouldn't. But one of them is her flexing and then holding a very miniature man. And I thought, oh, it's that kind of corn. I'm not a purveyor of that such corn. In Karen's case, they didn't have all these visuals to back up their claims about her vehicle, eh? Well, it's because the tip-off, on the way a newer model Lexus was really hard to do if you don't use the right port. That's another thing this defendant knows all about, not using the right port. I will call her and say, hey, I need your degenerate son. I have to do the heavy loading or else Sue will be the one who, and that's going to take it too far. I can control Brandon, but Sue, it's going to be like cracked up squirrels if Sue gets to do it. The rat's nest was a bit more tame. Yeah, I think she braided her hair yesterday. Harry, don't you disparage my chat. They're good people. A little weird. So, but tomorrow we will be covering day 5 in this one. I think they are about to be done with the case. I believe they might end it today. They said when they went home that she was to figure out if she was going to testify So that might have happened. And it's going to be interesting if she does that. I think there is reasonable doubt there, but as Harry told me earlier, as I have said, he understands Japanese enough that he could tell that 3 o'clock, that could be quite kind of pivotal, because we know she's not at the house at 3 o'clock. So if the mom heard some disturbance at 3 o'clock, it couldn't have been her. At least not according to the cell phone data we saw today. But apparently the mom is then kind of coerced to going back and say, well, it was probably around 2. And that changes everything, in my opinion. When we started this case, I said, this is absolutely crazy. She's guilty. And then Harry said, no, we cheated. We went a little ahead. Wait. And then we had Derriere yesterday testifying, and all he said was, I don't know, I drank too much. So I still have a lot of questions that we haven't heard. I'm very interested in the medical examiner. The victim is riding around Jockey Hollow presently. Yes, he this Halloween he was playing Ichabod Kane. Ended today. That's it. It's been a 6 day trial. That's normal for a murder trial. He was sketchy. Yes. Yoko lies over and over and laughs about it when she gets caught. Oh, that's going to be John Kerry. Bad John Kerry. Ugh. That's going to be tomorrow. His mother is going to testify. She's going to testify through an interpreter. She was the one who called 911 and sounded very detached and said, his bed is a mess. Have you tried CPR? He doesn't have a head. So, yeah. Yeah, if it's in the police interview, which I believe it is, and they are allowed to play it, that's I would say that's an uphill battle if they get to that one. But we'll have to see. We are almost caught up now, and that's a good thing. The witnesses gets much more interesting. Well, then you have to come back tomorrow where we will be looking at it again. One rule in first aid: if it takes more than 7 steps to go from compression to rescue breath, you don't have to start CPR. Mud Rocker, I will change to one important thing. If the head is missing, you don't have to start. I'm just saying. I think Yoko did it because she was jealous of George's sitar playing ability. Could be. Yeah, it's going to be the mom. She was enraged about the shame he brought on the family, and then she took the samurai swords and just, hiya! That could be a cool twist. Nothing. Today has been a boring day. I'm sorry, but it has. Good thing that we had a boring morning as well. But another easy day on the office. We're going to be back tomorrow at the normal time. I'll try and see if we're going to cover that antiquated rogue thing first and then do this after. There might be a night show. I don't know. But what you should do is do all the YouTube things and then come back and watch it. Don't fast forward it through the anthropologist. No, I don't. If it's witnesses, I'm fine with it. But if it's, and this is a cell tower. This is the same cell tower. And this is the cell tower again. As you could clearly see, she drove. What? It's like Jamie when she tells me about her day at work. I'm just... That sounds interesting, honey. Okay. Oh, no. Melissa said that? Oh, yeah, the kid, she can be annoying. Ichabod Crane, not Kane. Well, it's the same. That's the good part of being behind. Yeah, there's a lot of really boring stuff in a lot of trials, and I don't mind. Normally, I don't like that we have been 3 days behind. Now we're just going to be 2 days behind because we worked when they didn't. I don't mind being a day behind, so we don't get into people have been watching too much ahead. It is a good trial. We have to say thank you to Danny G and the kid who said you have to do this, because other than that, there is apparently recovery is covering Florida v. Dima Tower. I think that's an adopted kid who unalived one or two of his adopted parents. That's the other one I've seen out there today. So, and then there's a chlorine cleanup murder trial from Arizona. Again, the good thing about doing them a little behind, but not years behind, is we can kind of get into it and someone can say, oh, I was watching this after your stream. We have to do this next. What's the victim's name? It's Jonathan. I can't remember the last name. I'm not being mean. Selective hearing is handy. Yes. Everyone, go out there. It's 8 o'clock my time. I'm going to go and enjoy an episode of I started in, The Night Manager. I read the book, but I never watched the series. So I'm going to go watch an episode of The Night Manager, and then I'm going to go to bed and try and get some sleep. Everyone, thank you so much for stopping by today. Please go out and give someone a smile, because the easiest way to convince people that you might be psycho is to smile at them somewhere weird.
I'm Jimmy. How y'all doing?
I know English is your second language, but you don't word
It's
your
my
questions
third,
carefully.
but I'm still better at it than you. You are
the most important people in this case that everybody seems to have forgotten in this room is the jury. So we're going to take a 15-minute